and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. Why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
All right, GMCG everyone, we are back on this Wednesday, 11:46 a.m. Wild day right now. I am actually watching Stretch. I'm watching MSTR just absolutely get crushed. Someone is definitely in this trade and probably calling Michael Saylor's bluff on this, and I'm sure kind of doing some financial engineering here to squeeze out value, because this thing is down 7%, and Stretch is at $83 when it should be, I think, at 100. So yeah, not looking good. I think we talked a bit about the market risk earlier in the week. Where was it? Talked a bit about MSTR and Stretch before, of course. I know many people have followed this, but not a good look for the confidence of Bitcoin. Whether or not there's actually a structural problem here, there's a confidence problem more than anything, and that hurts the market. So yeah, BTC down 3.7%, just getting absolutely dusted. Wow. And dragging down everything with it. Hype down, Solana down. When are we going to see the bottom, guys? When are we going to see the bottom? I think a lot of progress has been made over the last 2 years, but man, it is a bit rough out there. I will have either Dom or Chill will be joining me at 1:15. The first interview today is actually with a legend in the internet space. Name is Ted Livingston. He founded Kick Messenger, a app that was the first chat app actually, other than BlackBerry, and went on to have 300 million users. And I think if you were in your 30s or even 40s, everyone remembers using Kick to message people on Blackberries and iPhones and whatnot. So that's going to be a really exciting conversation. I know Ted personally. I've met him many times and have helped out Code and some of his other projects, Kin and Flip Cash as well, just to grow. And they have some really interesting backers, Raj, Anatoly, Coinbase, etc. And a few others are on their cap table. So really, really legitimate product. And they have a really they're the first to build like an L2 on Solana and stuff like that. So I'm actually really excited about this conversation because you never know what Ted is working on, always working on some interesting things. So if you're joining us as part of the Flip Cash community, welcome to the stream. As you guys know, I've always been a longtime fan and, been doing MCG for the last kind of year and a bit. But here's the schedule for today. Flip Cash at noon. We got Blocks, who did an ace round, a 1-to-1, I believe, ace round. I will get those details at 12:45. 1:15 with Velvet, which I'm not exactly sure. I think this backed by YZI Labs. Okay, interesting. But either way, Dom or Chill or both will be leading that stream. And then Riverboat. Man, Riverboat has been chilled to me multiple times at sub 100K. Even really early on, Riverboat was shared with me, and looks like they're ready for mainstream. I mean, at the time, there wasn't much that was actually built for Riverboat in terms of live software. Let me check. I'm just checking Riverboat's chart here. Wow, 500K. Oh my goodness. Forget who got me on this. Was this someone got me on this? Top Fumbler or someone? I can't remember. Man, great. Look at that. Great performance. That's absolutely wild. Okay. What is this world thing? I've seen this World XYZ thing, Shield by Solana. There's no way this is the legit thing. This must be just some pump fund launch. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let's see. One project that I am watching is this Ant World Colony project on EZA, and I believe my stream is lagging, so apologies, guys. Look, guys, I've been saying it. I'm getting a new computer for sure. It's in the works, but we're gonna grind it out with this one for a little bit longer. But yeah, World Colony is actually a really interesting project. This is probably gonna lag my computer, but they have this ant colony, and the ants go and help make predictions. So right now they're doing World Cup predictions, and it's kind of like I want to say an adversarial neural network or something like that, where you go and you're in here, and I don't know, you're making predictions based on some stuff, finding solutions, and I gotta dig into a little bit of how accurate these predictions were. But this is definitely a project I have my eye on and a part of EZA. So might be one to keep an eye on here, because I mean the chart looks pretty good for a token that's just launched. I mean, not many pump fund charts just grind up like this. So I do like it. Other than that, so a couple of updates positioning wise. Obviously, still in Galaxy, which is getting crushed today on the Bitcoin side, but it's coming down towards this 50-day moving average area. So I actually like it here for another test of this 50-day area. Let's see if I can get a circle here. No, that is the broadcast link. So I don't want to do that. let's see. Can I copy and paste this? Oh my goodness. Can't. Do they let you duplicate? Come on, clone. There we go. So I do like this for a test here. And again, if you don't have any of these really good crypto equities, as soon as the Clarity Act, let's say the Clarity Act passes here and they actually get it done, there's going to be beneficiaries of that. One being Galaxy Digital. It's one of the largest institutional play. It is the largest institutional player in crypto. Then on top of that, they have this huge data center play. I've talked about numerous times on the show, so I won't rehash all elements. But they say when you add up the sum of all parts, the data center is the largest data center in the United States being built out. Almost 2 gigawatts of approved power in West Texas, which they say is worth around like the $50 billion mark, fully built out. And they've already delivered the initial data halls powered to CoreWeave, which CoreWeave posted a cheeky photo of Dell/NVIDIA's latest AI data server. And it, has these big tubes that you connect into it for the liquid cooling. Well, there's a good chance that actually is the Helios facility. And that picture went viral, but they didn't. Helios and Galaxy has been very quiet about this project, other than the filings and stuff that they released to the market. But again, the largest data center in the United States. So, my thing is I have a equity portfolio, of course, and this is still a name that I think is great BTC exposure and crypto exposure. These guys touch every element of the security token renaissance that we potentially are about to have on chain. All the institutional layers they're part of and are reselling those services to the incoming banks and et cetera that may want to work on that. And then they're building the largest AI data center in the United States. So this is coming down to this 50-day area. Go search Mike Novogratz, GLXY. I highly recommend people look at this one, have it on watch list. WorldCoin. All right. So I was in this and I sold when it cracked here at 60 cents, right up here. So it broke out. I actually sold before this breakout. Somewhere in here, I kind of got stopped out of it because it was grinding through this range here. So I'm no longer in World. What I am looking at, though, is this wormhole. Now, I don't really like how this trades. Obviously, this spiked up, but I saw a game post this, and then I've been watching it. I don't like this rejection here on the 50. It seems like that's been a spot of resistance. But, I mean, it's down like 99%. Look at this. Terrible chart. However, these guys incubated Sunrise DeFi. And, I'm a big fan of tokenization, of course, tokenized startups on chain, all this good stuff. If that theme carries and the Clarity Act gets passed, I think these guys, Wormhole is a core piece of infrastructure of bridging tokens onto Solana. And if they are part of that narrative around, tokenization as the Clarity Act gets passed, I think this could benefit from that narrative. The other one, of course, JTO. This is actually done decently, but I would look for this to come back to this like 50-cent area where these 50-day moving averages are, and I think you would get a good opportunity there, good trade. Same thing with Hyperliquid. I mean, all the crypto is really pulling back here. Let's see, ETH below it. BTC. Oh, man, chill. This was a circle I put that chill kind of put out here, and yeah, now we're going below it. So I don't know, guys. I don't think there's much you can really do here other than just, if you have bags, you're kind of just sitting on your hands and waiting for the market to improve. And if you have some liquidity, I think you're looking for opportunities, and there definitely are opportunities out there. There will come a day when crypto is relevant again, and it does perform well again. But yeah, it's just it's been a bit of a grind down for the last year or so, and it's been a bit tough, I think, for people knowing where the direction is. Especially, you could look at the stock market here, and this is just one of the most wild wild charts ever. Just absolutely up and to the right. So we'll see. What else am I looking at here? Let's check oil back down. So this is good. SpaceX. Let's see how SpaceX is doing. Yeah. Tough on the value here on SpaceX. I mean, this is just like a trading vehicle at this point. August or second week of August are where you start to get the initial unlocks. GM Top Fumbler, good to have you in chat. Top Fumbler, if you're looking at tickers, make sure to send those through and make sure to get the guys on it. But nonetheless, our first stream, and a friend of mine, someone I've known for a little bit, have helped in the community again, is Flip Cash with the man himself, Ted Livingston. Actually really excited to chat with Ted and get caught up, because it's been a while. They've been kind of cooking in the background on this latest iteration of the product, going from the kin transfers. And man, kin has such a story too. We're going to get that story as well, being an early project. But guys, I found Solana in like 2019 because I was part of this community called kin, and there was this developer call, and I was on this call, and Matt, Raj, and Antoli on this call. And this was before the token existed. This was like really, really early. And so we had a good look at Solana right at the very earliest, because kin back in the day was the first project to migrate onto Solana. And yeah, just quite the story. So we'll get it from Ted himself. But yeah, I am going to tee up Flip Cash so you guys can start downloading this. This is the website here. So go to flipcash.com, download the app. It is a great user experience. This is one of the greatest user experience in crypto, period. It is incredible. You guys are going to see it on stream. Ted and I are going to demo this, I am sure. So yeah, without further ado though, I'm going to end that and bring up Ted. Ted Livingston, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. It's been a while. What's going on in your life these days?
Yeah, it has been a while. I always enjoy hanging out with you. I'm looking forward to today. What can I say? Life is good. Summer's here. It's always nice. So
yeah.
Flip Cash is really coming together. It's super exciting. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man. Look, it's we did an event out in LA, which was really fun, and so appreciated going out there with you guys. You and Tanner and the team are like just the greatest guys, and you guys have been building this for so long and doing so much on Solana too. That is really cool. And the only possible on Solana like phrase I think started with Tanner. Was that true? Am I getting that right?
Yeah, we were talking about it back then. It's like, yeah, this is only possible on Solana. That's why it was Solana. And yeah, I think Tanner put that line out there, and then Mert ran with it. So we are the origination. Our product experience is the origination of that line, which we're super thrilled about.
So I won't quote a previous podcast of yours, but on Blockworks, you famously said that Solana may one day flip Ethereum, and I have to get the quick Ted Livingston update thesis on that. If that you think that still holds true, or if you have any update to that.
I don't know. It feels inevitable, no?
I want to say,
yeah, like, listen, like crypto is a very tribal ecosystem, but I try to separate narratives from utility. And when I look at the utility of the Solana blockchain to enable developers to build great things versus the utility of the Ethereum blockchain to enable developers to build great things, I just think Solana is light years ahead and getting further ahead. So we're still in a phase of crypto where narratives still dominate, sort of unbelievably. Totally. 15 years later, but I think that era eventually will come to an end. We hope Flip Cash is going to be a big part of that. We hope that we're going to be able to show with Flip Cash just how powerful Solana is at enabling mainstream, amazing consumer experiences.
Yeah, you guys have absolutely nailed it too with that. It is a great experience. I love it. That's why I love working with you guys. But before we get into that, like you have such a storied history with Kick, and like a lot of your core followers will know that story. But I think a lot of new people and part of the show have no idea about that story. So I'd love to get that, quick kick over you, how you got into Kin, then Code, and then now Flip Cash.
So it's been a 17-year journey. So I will do my best to summarize 17 years into a minute or two. So I got my start very early. I saw mobile very early before the iPhone came out. I was actually working at BlackBerry back when I was in college. I dropped out of college to start Kik. I saw mobile coming together. It wasn't going to just be BlackBerries, but it'd be iPhones and Androids as well, and built the first cross-platform messenger. Started a company, called it Kik, and it went totally viral. 0 to 1 million users in 15 days, 1 million to 2 million users in 7 days. This is back in 2010. So a very exciting start. We built that out. We were the first chat app to become a platform. So the first one to have APIs to enable other native apps, web apps, and eventually chatbots to plug in. So we're innovators and leaders there. But then was looking for a way to make money. At some point we had all these investors. We raised money at $1 billion valuation. And at some point it's, well, how are you going to make money? And we didn't want to do something. One of our values is we work hard to find the win-win, and ads and chat just did not feel like a win-win. So we were looking around, and I had learned about Bitcoin in 2011. And I was like, this is amazing. It's like a digital asset, but it has guaranteed scarcity. So it can be a new form of money, a new way to do payments, and it could be a new business model. Like if you owned a bunch of your Bitcoin, that could be a business model for the company. And at the same time, looked at Bitcoin, and as a consumer guy, I'm like, this is never going to work. It's too slow, too expensive. Like 7 transactions per second just is not going to cut it for a global audience. So that's when we decided to launch Kin. We launched Kin in 2017, sort of our version of Bitcoin. The idea being the mining reward, instead of going to secure the network, which we didn't need because Solana and proof of stake. Let's put that towards the developers who grow adoption of the network. So that was really the idea. So we built that. There's sort of a whole story in there.
Oh yeah.
But the punchline is we did a lot of amazing things with Kin, one of which was the first ever token to migrate to Solana. So we've been in Solana like literally longer than anybody as developers. But the question from there is like, how should the economics work? And that was, I know you're a big part of the Kin journey. We launched it. I spent almost 10 years of my life trying to make that work. We fixed a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of the technology, but the thing we could not fix was the economics. Too much had been given away for free. It created constant sell pressure that Kin could just never get out from underneath. Impossible to overcome. And, also like exchanges were very difficult because we went through a whole trial with the SEC, liquidity, market makers. We saw sort of the underbelly of market making and why that can be so problematic. Yeah. Happy to talk about that. But long story short, we went through Kin. That didn't work. Then we did a USDC payment app. That did not work. So then we sort of have come full circle now to be like, hey, let's take all these learnings and build a platform for others to launch their own currencies. And we're trying out this narrative of meme coins that you can use as money. Meme coins are great. You're a community, you want to build a coin, everybody uses it together. It's this amazing tribal thing. But today with meme coins, all you can do is sell them. That's like the only utility. You bought it and you sell it. When do you sell it is the only question. That's the whole game. That obviously leads to a big pump up and a big dump down. We want to do it so that you create a meme coin, but then you can use it as money. You can spend it. And we think that would make all the difference.
And credit to you guys. I mean, we built this show on this theme of called ICM, which is Internet Capital Markets, that kind of blew up with Believe app because all of a sudden these founders like Bobby from Dupe and Avi Patel from Kled were like sitting there accidentally launching tokens for their whatever startup. And they just realized, oh, like, wow, I got a token that's live now. And so then we started saying, hey, do you guys want to come on a stream and talk about your business? Because like there's this token and like we don't know what you understand about crypto or not. And so then we built around, but you guys were really the first kind of like mainstream company that said, hey, we're going to take this really seriously. And like actually build a token-based business model. And I don't know if you have any thoughts on what Pavel's done with Graham. He kind of like pushed crypto away for a while to kind of settle the regulators, and then now he's just rebranded and taken it back over. I mean, he made it, I guess.
Yeah, so we were the first Web2 company in the world to launch our own token. Before, Facebook was going to launch Libra, if you recall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There was a few of these. We were the very first. So the SEC went after us, Kick, or regulators, I should say, went after us at Kick, went after Facebook with Libra, and went after Telegram. And Facebook and Telegram said, okay, we're going to back off it. We're going to put it on the shelf. We're not going to work on it anymore. Whereas we were all in. We had already launched the token. So we said, we're going to fight it. And so we went through and fought it. They sort of sat on the sidelines for a while. Facebook hasn't yet stepped back into the arena. Telegram has, they're taking it back over. But I think one of the like super interesting things is Telegram, there's only one token. It's ton or gram or whatever they're calling it now, which is great, but you can't build your own. Like you're the train has left the station literally years ago. You can decide if you want to jump on it now or not, but it's too late. And that would have been the same thing with Kin, right? Like you can jump on the train now or not, but it's too late. The cool thing about FlipCash is you can build your own train.
Yeah.
And so we're taking all those learnings. It's not Kin or Ton or any one currency or Bitcoin or ETH or any of these individual currencies. It's really, we want to give the average person, the average community, a great shot at building their own money and doing it on our platform.
Yeah, and you talked a bit about like adding utility and real community behind meme coins. I think meme coins have just become a slot machine of pump fund launches, and then it's just extraction central, and it's like this really terrible, somewhat parasitic experience for the space. This is completely different. Like there's not necessarily the traditional pump fund bonding curve where you have like, a small amount of liquidity supporting a large market cap. And then as soon as the cascade of sales come in, it's like the game's done. Right. So this is much more long-term focus, community building focus, with then this really incredible mobile user experience on top of it that promotes people, building community, sharing it with each other, doing it on streams, streaming and getting payments. So like maybe back to FlipCash, like what do people do when they want to start a currency themselves? Can you walk us through that process?
Yeah, so it's super simple. You download the FlipCash app, go to the App Store or the Play Store, search FlipCash, one word, it'll be right there. You download the app, you create an account, and then you can go into discover all the other currencies others have made. And right there, you can create your own currency. When you create your own currency, it's, what do you want to call it? What do you want the description to be? What do you want the icon to be? And then, you got up on screen here, what do you want your cash to look like? So you actually design your cash bill. You can design it to look like whatever you want to look like. And then you go create. And then we set up an incredible amount of infrastructure for your currency. So it takes about 3 minutes. Your currency gets created. Yeah, there you go. There's the discover with the create your own currency right there at the top. Because to make this, the key difference with FlipCash versus any other launchpad is the instant your currency is created, it's now usable as money. That's the user experience. So you can pull it out as cash right away, hand it to a friend, boom, instant, no fees. You're using it right away as money. Yeah, there you got some Mooney there.
Yep.
So you can use it as money right away, but also like the liquidity is there right away. And this is something that I think Pumped Up Fund did really well, is like, because we were sort of like, okay, not Kin, not USDC, but like a platform of many Kins, but how do you first distribute it? How do you first get that liquidity going? And that's where the bond was like a great innovation. And so we looked at that idea and said, that's great, but one, it should be in US dollars. And then two, it should be more gradual and long-lived. So with FlipCash, it's all in USDF, which is our stablecoin we created with Coinbase. But there's no graduation to a DEX.
Right. And you guys are like one of like the earliest users of this white labeled like Coinbase stablecoin product. Can you just explain real quick how that works?
Yeah, so we are USDF, USD Flip Cash is the very first custom stablecoin that Coinbase has put out. So once again, we are first to Solana, first to launch a token, first to build a chat as a platform, first to do a Coinbase stablecoin. So once again, we are first, but the thought there is, Pump Up Fund is great, but it's all in Sol. Sol had volatility. Now they've since they've added USDC or whatever it is, but at the time it was all in Sol. That creates volatility. Like, if I create a currency and I have $100 of it today, I don't want it to become $80 tomorrow because Sol has gone down. I only want it to be $80 tomorrow because the currency itself has gone down, or $120 because the currency itself has gone up. So we needed a stable sort of economic base for this. And so that's where we said, let's do it in USDC, but instead of USDC, let's do it in USDF. And then that can be the business model for the company. So we get the float revenue on that. That creates like a win-win model. We're not trying to do trading fees to extract value. We're aligned with all the community creators. We want as much money backing these currencies as possible because that's how we make revenue. So that's where we work with Coinbase, and they've been amazing.
So if your currency is simply backed by USD, then why use the new currency in the first place?
Great question. So we've been doing this for 10 years. And so we tried KIN first. So KIN is like Bitcoin. It's guaranteed scarcity, fixed supply. So it can appreciate over time. Okay. So there's upside. That was incredibly powerful. That's what gets a community. Hey, if KIN wins, I win. I want to be part of this. But it also has volatility. You got to get liquidity. You got to get market makers. You got to get all this stuff. So then we did USDC. It's the opposite. Can't go down, but it can't go up. So it has stability, but there's no incentive to participate. And that's what we saw. People are like, wow, this is the best wallet ever. I'm not using it. Because, I'll just use the Venmo I already have. So when we went back and we said, okay, we don't want to do a stable coin, but we also don't want to do what other meme coin launch pads were doing, where it's just insane volatility. We needed something in between. Stable enough to be used as money, but the ability to appreciate enough to create an incentive. And so that's what, it's not a one-to-one backing of USDF. So I create a currency called Teddies. It's not a one-to-one backing of Teddies to USDF. What it is it's a bonding curve. It's just much more gradual. So I create Teddies. One of our big innovations, we created this smart contract. Yeah, there's Teddies, my test currency. We created this thing called the Reserve. The Reserve is a smart contract. You can think of it as like an online bank that manages Teddies, the non-circulating supply of Teddies, and all the USDF backing Teddies, as well as every other currency created on Flip Cash. Okay, it's an immutable smart contract on the Solana blockchain. So when I create Teddies, the Reserve creates 21 million units, like Bitcoin, of Teddies are created. They all go into the Reserve. The Reserve self-custodies them. The Reserve then makes them available for sale. You want to buy some Teddies? Send me some USDF. Says the Reserve. So you send USDF to the Reserve, it sends you back Teddies. Now it self-custodies that USDF. So down the road, I'm like, actually, I want to sell my Teddies. The Reserve says, I'm ready to buy. So you can send your Teddies back to the Reserve. It will send you back the USDF. So it acts as like the online bank for all these currencies created on Flip Cash. But the key is the price that the Reserve charges, like what it will buy and sell at, increases very slightly with each unit sold. So we'll sell the first one for a penny, and then it increases the price of the next one very slightly to 1.0001 pennies. And then it sells that, and then increases the next one to 1.0002 pennies. Oh, okay, you want to sell? I'll buy circulating supplies 3. I'll buy it for 1.002 pennies, and then now I'll only buy it for 1.001 pennies. So it's a pricing curve. And so what this pricing curve does, if I can share my screen, because I think this is interesting.
This is a demo friendly stream, so I'd love to. I don't know if you have some Teddies you can give me, like $5 of Teddies, but I'd definitely receive $5 of Teddies too at some point.
Okay, let me share my screen here.
Because the demo's magic. Like this is actually
the key innovations here, Josh, are one is the utility, the magic, what you're talking about. The other is the liquidity, which is, so let's talk about the liquidity and then we can do the magic. And those two together, I think are just going to be absolutely incredible. So this is like the white paper I'm working on. It's almost ready. We're trying to get back to a return to community currencies. And really the key issue with crypto is like, how do you create liquidity for long tail currencies? And this is something we had a ton of experience with Kin. It's market makers and listings and all this stuff. And so we solved that with this thing called the reserve, right? That's what I was saying earlier. It's an on-chain bank. You create teddies, all 21 million go in there. You will then sell them and buy them and self-custody the non-circulating supply and all the USDF backing that currency. The way we create that incentive is with the pricing curve, right? Like if it's 1-to-1 all the time, like a pure stablecoin, there's no incentive. But if it's, on pumped up fund, I think it's something like 60 grand, you can buy 90% of the supply. Whereas on a flip cash currency, it takes 800 billion or something, maybe 500 billion to buy 95% of the supply. So we want that in between, both, a balance between stability and growth.
I hope that's a problem we face one day, right?
Step by step. But this is a key thing. So this is what I show. Our pricing curve creates stability first and growth over time. So let's say you and I create MCG coin. Okay. We create MCG coin and you and I both put in the first $100. So we send $100 of USDF to the reserve. It sends us back $100 of MCG coin. If we then go get 10 friends to buy $100 each, so now there's $1,000 backing MCG, the value of our $100 is still roughly just $100. So in these early phases of like a group of friends on a baseball team or a group of friends at college or a group of friends in a study group create their own currency, at this point, it's basically just acting as a stable coin. We can just use it as money. But if the group expands, let's say somebody's friend says, hey, that's really cool. Like, I want to buy $100 of that. And somebody else says, oh, that's really cool. I want to buy $100 of that. As adoption grows, so let's say now 100 people have bought $100 each, $10,000 in the reserve. Now our original $100 is worth $200. We could sell our MCG back to the reserve and the reserve would give us $200 of USDF. If we get 1,000 people to buy $100 each, so now there's $100,000 in the reserve. Now the reserve we can sell our MCG back to the reserve and get $1,000 back each. So this is the key thing is we create this online bank. There's no, let me stop sharing here. There's no graduation to a DEX. And so let me pause there. There's something very interesting it does as well with liquidity, but maybe we could do a demo and then I can talk about there's something that the Flip Cash wallet does that literally no other wallet in the world does from an economics and liquidity perspective that I think is super powerful. So you want to do
I'm
demo?
ready.
Okay,
I'm ready, Ted. And guys, when you open the app, it opens to this scanner, this clear scanner. As you can see, I'm behind there, which is just really beautiful. And there's like 3 buttons. So cash, wallet, and discover. Of course you have like your settings, but it just beautiful. All right, Ted, let's do this. I'm going to full screen.
Yeah. Let me full screen as well here. So the biggest thing is we wanted to make, this has been sitting on my desk. Yeah. This has been sitting on my desk for, I don't know, 8 years, 7 years, a long time. What is this?
That's 1,000 pesos. I don't know. Central
Have you
de
seen
Chile.
it before? Have you seen it before?
No.
What is this?
A dollar bill.
Money. This is money. Everybody gets that this is money, right? You've never seen it before, but you know this money. Like I got all these other bills too. Here's another one.
Hey, let's go.
Money.
Wow, cool.
Here we go. Here's another one. Anyway, I won't go through all my bills.
And any come on, you're Canadian, so we got maple syrup. We got any maple syrup money in there? And of course, for you guys Americans out there, the $100 bills in Canada smell like maple syrup for some reason.
So this was our inspiration from a product point of view. You launch a meme coin. How do you get this right away? It's this right away. It feels like this, right? You know what this is. If I hand it to you, you know it has value. You know how it works. There's no fees. It's so simple. Everybody understands.
I can't get it through the screen, right?
You can't give it through the screen.
No. How
do we create that experience? It turned out it took a long time to figure out all the tech to do what I'm about to do. So I create teddies. I send $100 of USDF to the reserve. I get back the teddies. So now I have $100 of teddies on my phone. Let's say you and I are out for coffee. We split the bill. It's $5.62. So I want to pull out $5.62 of teddies cash. So I'm just, I show here. Actually, see, like I got a fourth button here, send, but I'll show you that after. So I go to cash, as you said, pulls out this. How much you want to do? What did I say? $4.62, right?
There's a little inflation since last time. So give us.
I hit next, and it pulls out. This is the Teddy cash that I designed. Okay, I could design my own cash. So now if I hold that up to you, you just point flip cash at it.
Oh, come on. We're gonna get it, guys. We're gonna get it.
It might be, yeah, there.
Can you give me the I might have to full screen you, and we'll do it that way. So here, I'm gonna full screen you.
It works incredibly well in person, but it usually works quite well over there. Okay, there. I think you got it now.
All right, try it again. You're now full screen. Let's try it again.
Okay, here we go. So 462. I toss it up here.
All right, come on. So basically, guys, what I'm trying to do, pull it back. There we go. I got it. Okay. So I'll show you what's on my screen now, guys. So I have the bill that Ted just put. And now he took it off my screen. And so like if I try and get it back here, let's go. Let's see if I can grab that. Oh, it's that your resolution is not good, Ted. Your resolution.
I'm on Starlink. I'm on Starlink. Come on, Starlink. There we go.
So anyways, the bill is handed back and forth. And guys, I'll show you a video on my X of Tanner and I actually just flipping it between our phones back and forth. But basically what I'm doing is scanning that digital dollar bill. Now, Ted, is the ability to grab the bill, is it in that QR code or does the entire bill need to be in view?
So it's all in that QR code. And this is like the power that, again, the million things we had to figure out to make this work. So that QR code actually has a secret in it. And so when you're grabbing that QR code, you're getting the secret, you're going to the server, and you're saying, I know the secret, I want that bill. That's setting up an end-to-end encrypted or a non-man in the middle channel between our two phones. You're then submitting that secret to me saying, hey, I saw the secret, here's the secret, here's my deposit address, send me the cash. So then my phone is like, well, he must have seen it. He's the one who knows the secret, sends you the cash. So not only is it like super slick and powerful, but from a technology point of view, it's insanely secure. Not even the server can reroute funds in between.
And so it is self-custody. So like when I'm grabbing it, it's this is like still running like a layer 2 on top of Solana. I'm getting it's self-custody to my phone. Oh my goodness. And then here's Eric, shout out Eric, who runs Mooney. He's sending Flip Cash. So if anyone goes and clicks that link, they can actually then receive it onto their phone. And unfortunately, I can't get that off StreamYard, which is really sad for me. But now, was there permission sent between users, or could I have snatched that $5 with my Flip Cash app? So that's true, is because this is a public live stream, Crypto Jones, you actually could have tried to get in the middle of that and snipe it.
Should we try that? Should we try a little?
I mean, the first to get it, yeah, like Crypto Jones.
No, you can't take it, Josh. Okay, so we'll see how quick somebody can grab it here. I'm going to put up $100 shortly.
Oh my goodness.
100 real dollars, US dollars, which is like the gold of the whole system. He's like, dude, like the US dollar is the gold. It underpins all the currencies.
Wow, that's cool.
So he actually had one of this like sort of novelty gold $100 bill. I'm like, oh, it's like the gold of the system. So let me put up $100, but anybody can grab it. It's just like cash, right? If I'm walking around the street, I'm like flinging this around, someone's going to grab it from me. Yeah. Right. So only show the money to the person you want to get it, or show it to everybody, and whoever gets it first.
We'll give Crypto Jones $5.
Here, this is $100. If anybody on the stream wants to grab it, let's see if anybody's on there.
Here, I'm gonna full screen you too. There you go. So while we're doing this, and Crypto Jones might need. Oh, there, someone snagged it. Someone snagged
Somebody got $100 of teddies. Welcome to my community.
That's awesome. And so, all right, just really quick, back to the underlying infrastructure so people know. So this is kind of like a normal phantom wallet that you could say. There's a seed phrase that is associated with the wallet on your phone. However, you guys have come up with this unique way by putting a layer on top of Solana that is a series of smart contracts that say, hey, my phone has the secret to access that cash that you put on your screen. And then the server says, okay, yep, we're going to move it from one wallet to another. However, again, it's still self-custody. This is like classic crypto self-custody.
So the server cannot move your money. Okay. Only you can move your money. So what's happening in that cash transaction is you're proving to me that you saw the secret. The server is facilitating the communication from you to me, but you're signing your messages. So the server can't pretend it's you, and it doesn't know what the secret is. Okay. So then you go to me and you're saying, hey, I saw the secret. Here's what the secret is. And here is my deposit address. I'm then creating a transaction to send $100 of teddies from my address to your address and submitting it to the blockchain. So only you move your money.
Got it. Okay. That's really cool. Now
so let's just talk about the layer 2, right? Because this is just like an insanely beautiful platform. It's literally, I feel like I've been on a 17-year journey. Why do we need a layer 2? We're on Solana. We're the first ones ever to be on Solana. Why do we need a layer 2? Solana's so fast. It's so cheap. There's one thing about Solana that is not cheap, which is rent. So for every token account, you got to put in 40 cents of SOL to be able to open up that token account. Well, we don't want any fees, right? It's cash. Hey, here, take this bill. Oh, but wait, first we got to pay 40 cents. Oh, here, take this bill. Oh, you got to pay another 40 cents. Oh, here, take this bill. You got to pay another 40 cents. Like, that doesn't work. We need it to be like cash, no fees. So we need to subsidize it. So we pay the 40 cents. Well, guess what? If every user has 100 currencies times 1 million users, that's 100 million rent exemptions. That's 100 million times 40 cents, whatever that number is. So we needed to build the same idea as compressed NFTs, but for token accounts, compressed token accounts. And so that's what our layer 2 does. It does compressed token accounts so that you can have as many currencies as you want. We can subsidize it, but it's almost negligible cost compared to the normal 40 cent rent fee.
So I want to get into how people are using this, because back in the day, Eric and I, and shout out Eric. So whoever got that $5, again, all you do is click on that link, then you can receive it onto your phone. You got to be on your Flip Cash. Or Ted, just remind me, does this open up a web page where then I can scan it off the screen?
If you're on your desktop, you click that link. I think it's a QR code, and then that will open it up for you.
Got it. Dom has a question here. You're able to refund the rent on Solana though, right?
So we don't, like, there is no rent from a user's perspective. So the user never pays rent. The user never gets refunded rent. Everything you can use in Flip Cash, there are no fees. It is cash, right? Using this has no fees. That's what we created. As a user, there are no fees. It's just a piece of paper. There is a fee when you sell. Like if you sell your teddies back to the reserve, there is a 1% fee to stop sandwich attacks and looping attacks. But there's no fees on buys, and there's no fees. There are a fee on withdraw because we have to create that rent exempt account for you. So that's where we charge a fee. But if you're just handing cash back and forth inside the app, there are 0 fees. So there's no rent from a user perspective.
And I think part of this, Dom, is also understanding the history here too. It's like if you had 1 million of these wallet downloads all of a sudden, I mean, you can't fund them and then withdraw the funds. I mean, you said it's 40 cents times 1 million. Well, that's like $40,000 worth of, no, that's $400,000 worth of rent. Like, what consumer app scales like that? No consumer app is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to spend $400,000 to acquire 1 million users. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then multiplied by, 1 billion users with 100 currencies each. That's 1 trillion accounts.
Yeah. So I think that what you guys have done is created that optimization layer, and then it has enabled this amazing user experience that we've shown. We've put some cash around. I mean, look, no one's going on their Phantom wallet and sending and receiving money on a stream like this. So it's definitely a really unique experience. Now, tell me a bit about how people are using this, because back in the day, we used to like live stream and put that little digital dollar bill QR code in the corner, and me and Eric would play Battlefield, and people would just send us like money while we're playing. It was really, really fun. And, you know, I've been a little unplugged from the community for a while, and I'm just wondering, like, how have you seen kind of people use this? What are the different experiences that people are using this for?
So right now, number one thing is peer-to-peer payments. Like the thing we're starting with is, because, you know, okay, I created Teddy's. Where can I use it? Like what's the utility? And so we need like a wedge to get into the market. And so with Code, you know, the wallet we built with Kin back in the day, we created like micropayments online, we created tip codes, we created all these things you could use Kin for. We will recreate those with FlipCash. They're not in there yet, but there will be, okay? So we have a ton of experience with creating utility for payments. We just had the wrong currency and the wrong structure and liquidity sitting underneath, so we fix that now. But to start, we think this is killer, and we call it Venmo with upside. You and 10 friends go create Josh Coin. Like, hey, let's just use this to pay each other back, just like Venmo. You each add $50. Now you can do that with Apple Pay and Google Pay. Super slick. And it's basically perfectly stable. You know, even if everybody sold except for you, you know, it barely moves down at that scale. So that's what I mean. Stability first, growth over time. You create a currency, you and your 10 friends, you're just using it like Venmo. But if you can start to grow adoption, now it's not 10 people, it's 11 people, it's 15 people, it's 100 people, it's 1,000 people. The value of the currency is growing for everyone. And so that's what we're starting, peer-to-peer. There's a question of how do we make peer-to-peer as good as possible. There's questions we go to, how do we get to merchants? I can talk about merchants in a moment. But in peer-to-peer, you know, cash is great. It's super cool, especially if you don't know the other person, right? Like you're at a farmer's market. I can just hand you, you know, it's cash with no change. The problem with this is it has a fixed number on it, 100. So if I give you this and I owe you 90, you got to give me back 10. You know, and if
or if you know you're using crypto with the person in the farmer's market, you're like, oh, yo, what's your Solana address? Like, yeah, it's terrible.
So this is just cash, but when we're not together, we want to make that super simple as well. And that's what we're going to be launching next, is where you can verify your phone number. And again, we have a ton of experience from Kik and chat. So when you get the feature, Josh, right? I got that send tab in the bottom. Mm-hmm. You're going to get the send tab soon. When you get it, you click it, it's going to say verify your phone number. I'm going to get a push notification right away that Josh is on FlipCash. Do you want to send him money? And now it's like, we don't have to do this thing over Zoom. I'm just like, send in my list. There's Josh, he's on FlipCash. I want to send him $5, swipe to send, boom, done. You get a notification. You can send chats. Hey, thanks for the cash. So that's what we have coming up next. Once we have those two things, cash and send, then we really have Venmo with upside, and we can continue to iterate from there.
Yeah, and one of my favorite ones was this article thing. You had this like pay with code button on the websites. Maybe you'll do pay with FlipCash where you can gate articles, and it was really smooth, and you clicked it, scanned it, sent the 25 cents, then it just, you know, removed the paywall. It was the best paywall experience ever. But yeah, no, it was really good. Let's talk about token.
Well, can we talk about that for 1 second?
Sure. Yeah. Go for it.
Because there's a question there, like you're a blog. Why would you accept FlipCash? You're a merchant. Why would you accept FlipCash? And this is, I want to point out, this is like a very powerful thing about FlipCash that nobody else has, among many things, which is how the liquidity works. Okay. If I create a meme coin on another platform, not FlipCash, on another platform, and then I go, you know, I say, hey, I want to buy your microphone off you, Josh. Can I give you $100 of my meme coin? Okay, first of all, it's going to be super complicated, but let's say it was super slick. I give you $100 of my meme coin. You go, okay, great, but I need US dollars, so you hit sell. How many dollars do you actually get? You have no idea. You have no idea. You don't know until you hit sell, because you don't know what the order books look like underneath the hood. On a DEX, you know, that liquidity can be pulled. You have no idea. So if you have $100 of a meme coin. It's thin liquidity. By the time you sell, you might only get 20 bucks. I'm not accepting that. I have no idea. Whereas on Flipcash, liquidity is calculated. So when we say, so I just gave away $100 of teddies, okay? Somebody is sitting there with $100 of teddies in their wallet. What does that mean? All the other wallets in the world say, well, you have 100 teddies and they're worth $1 each right now, so you have $100. That's not true. I sell one teddy, now the next one is only going to sell for 99 cents. 98 cents, by the time I'm all said and done, I'm only going to get 20 bucks. But on Flipcash, what we show you is your balance in terms of what you could get from the reserve right now. Guaranteed. So when we say you have $100 of teddies, what that means is if you turn in all your teddies to the reserve, it's going to give you back $100 USDF guaranteed, minus the 1% fee. Liquidity is not something you guess at, something you don't know. Is it there? Is it not there? How thick? How thin? It's calculated. So as a merchant, Josh Coin, teddies, Mooney, you name it, any currency, I will accept it. And I will instantly convert it into US dollars, guaranteed, minus a 1% fee, better than credit cards. So the liquidity model of Flipcash, I can't get at this enough, is just so powerful. As a user, what you see is what you're going to get when you sell. As a merchant, what you receive is what you're going to get when you sell. So as a merchant now, you have a lot of confidence. He's like, yeah, I'll just auto convert anything I receive into US dollars the moment I receive it. Any currency on all of Flipcash.
Let's talk about that creation part of it. So what do you want users or communities, I guess, to do here? You want them to download the app and they can go right at the top banner is this really nice, slick creation thing. You know, you could do this among friends. Golfing, Fred Wilson has a golfing one. Is that what you want people to do?
We want people to create their own currency and use it as money. Download the app, create your own currency, and then start using it as money with your friends. Buy more of it. You know, buy $100, give $10 each of your friends. Just use it, play with it. And then today the app is what I would say is very good. We are going to make it incredible. Like this new send feature that I have on my phone is incredible. It is like better than Venmo, and yet it's the entire world. And it's with your currency, using it as money. So I would say if you want to see the future first, again, you know, you saw the future first when we were the first ones to move to Solana, Josh, right? That was a great future to see. You're welcome.
Great future. Yeah. Sub a dollar soul, great future to see.
So if you want to see the future of like consumer crypto first, download the app, create a currency, and start using it as money with your friends. Just play with it. And then we will build and build and build, and it's going to be beautiful.
So here's the currencies, guys. Go download it. Jeffy is 400K. You have Mooney at 200K, and then Cattle Cash 11K, which I believe was a Tanner one. I actually own some Cattle Cash, so a little disclosure there. I own a little bit of Mooney as well. And then you can also see, which is really cool, on the left side, the right side, it shows how many people are part of those communities. Now, this is a really great kind of social feature, and we only have 4 minutes left, so I want to kind of make sure we cover everything. But really quick, do you have plans to do anything social around how many people are in these communities at all?
Josh, the amount of cool stuff we're going to do is unbelievable. I'll just give you one taste, right? We have chat in the app now because I can send you money, I can chat, and then we're going to have group chat. But eventually we're going to have community chat. Can you imagine, like, hey, if you want to be in this chat, you got to have a balance of at least 1,000 Joshies. And that's like the insider club. It's, you know, we're a community. If you are really part of our community, you got to have at least $1,000 of Joshies or MCGs or whatever it might be. So we're going to be able to do all sorts of community stuff as well, all sorts of cool governance stuff. What if we want to change like the look of the bill? What if we want to change the description? What if we, you know, whatever that might be. So there's going to be a ton of amazing money features, like Venmo features. We're going to do a ton of cool group stuff. And then there's going to be a ton of cool community features as well. And this is, you know, this is not me saying this as somebody who's never done this before. This is me saying this as somebody who's built one of the largest messengers in the world that had $1 billion valuation, tens of millions of monthly active users. But this is me as somebody saying who's built a bunch of these killer crypto experiences already. Like to your point, Josh, you saw the micropayments to unlock articles. You saw the leaving your tip code in the corner of a live stream. You've seen it. We were just doing it on a flawed economic foundation.
Yes.
We've now fixed the foundation, and now we're going to bring all these incredible things back.
Dude, I'm actually fired up for this like next era of Flip Cash. Crypto Jones has an interesting question. I mean, I don't think any payment app really works offline, but I don't know if you have any thoughts around if it's possible to ever have it work offline. And if that even makes sense, really.
We do have some interesting ideas where the giver can be offline. Like if I'm giving you cash, I could be offline and sort of like set up these sort of gift cards, almost like set up a cash bill. Like I could load up a physical piece of paper with $100 of teddies, you know, put it away for another day and just hand it to you. So we do have some ideas around that. But at the end of the day, like we do need, like the only way money moves is if you sign the transaction. So we do need to get your transaction at some point.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. I mean, Ted, is anything else that we're missing here? I mean, there's just so much to this storied, thing that you've been building for so long. I've experienced for years myself, and just anything else that I'm missing. I want to make sure I get it all.
So maybe one more thing is like, so this is very early, right? So you go into Discover, what is it? Jeffy has 316 people. And by the way, that's 316 people with at least a $10 US dollar balance. Okay. So these are real people, real holders. But it's early, right? We're just starting to promote this now because it's just starting to get ready now. We're very keen for people to play with this, try it, and to get their feedback. So maybe as an interesting, fun thing, anybody who creates a currency in let's say the next 6 hours, as long as it's not something, we do moderation on it, but if it's something positive for the world, if you tweet at me at Ted Livingston, I just created this, I will retweet that and I'll buy some myself as well. I'll buy $10 or something small. I don't want to get crazy. That's not the point. But if you help us by creating a currency, trying it out, using it with your friends, then we can do a little bit to help you. Like I'll retweet that and buy some myself.
Awesome, guys. Go to flipcash.com, go download it, find it in the Apple and iOS apps, Apple and Google Play Store. It is the best experience. Ted is a legend. And yeah, I mean, Ted, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. We'll clip this up and yeah, you're doing really, really cool. Oh, one last quick thing, because privacy is important here. This is all the rage. So you guys did privacy through obfuscation, kind of like the cash drawer thing where you split the transactions, $5 into many different ones with different denominations. So it was hard to kind of figure out what it laddered into. Any quick note on privacy here before we let you go?
So I would say we have a basic version of privacy today. So you can't just go on the Block Explorer and see where the transactions are going because everything's happening inside of our layer 2. But could somebody build software to figure out what's happening inside the layer 2? Yes. So that's something we will improve and look at as adoption comes online. But for now, we said, let's keep this simple. Let's get it going. But this is a totally open system. Like FlipCash is a totally open source app. Everything we build is open source. So eventually, we want many wallet apps, and maybe some will have this type of privacy, some will have that type of privacy. So the answer to this is yes, there's a basic version of privacy today, but everything is set up so that privacy can get better over time.
Got it. We'll leave it there, Ted. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
See you soon. All right, guys. That was Ted Livingston, the absolute legend. De Niro Dom sitting in the back rooms. How's it going, Dom?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you taking that. Great episode. I caught the back end there. But yeah, good stuff, man. How's your day going?
Good. Look, I got to say, I'm fired up because, just such a legend, guys. Kik Messenger. I was in university when Kik dropped, and like it was like the thing that unified all our chats. And what Ted didn't mention is there's this whole drama of BlackBerry, but WhatsApp was the app that BlackBerry allowed in the App Store, and now WhatsApp has become this like massive thing. Of course, getting acquired by Facebook. But man, just so many layers to this. A really, really top tier founder, OG of Solana, one of the first. But many people just don't know the story, right? It's not pump fun. It's not meme coins. It's something totally different. So guys, go to flipcash.com. Do try it out. It is really interesting. There's a couple currencies on there. And
someone just got $100.
Someone got $100.
Who was that, bro? Can they come forward in the chat? I was sitting here in the back room waiting. I'm like, man, how long is this going to take? But it didn't take very long at all.
No. So cool, Dom. Well, I'll let you tee up the next one. I got to go work on our the MCG signal thing, and I'm gonna go get that ready so we can announce that today. But
all right, I'm gonna hold it down then for the next couple interviews, boys. Josh,
see you
next time.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, boys. The more charismatic, handsome, funny, talented.
Cap.
Oh, he's still here. He's still here. Get him on. Guys, I'm so sorry about him. Nonetheless, we are back. We're live. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. That was a great episode from Josh. Like I said, I caught the back end myself. But now we got another one on. So I'm going to queue up my boy here in the back room. We got Blocks API coming on. Davey has been on the show before. I don't think they had won the Pump on Hackathon the last time we had them on. Maybe they had. I can't recall. It's been a little while. Nonetheless, we got Davey coming on from Blocks. We had a GameFi Day Monday, which is really, really fun. Of course, we see gaming kind of popping off right now within crypto, which I'm just so excited for. Obviously, for the longest time, I've been wanting a successful gaming run. And, everyone's kind of had this GameFi vision of crypto and the convergence there. And we talked about that Monday. We missed Davey for Monday, but we got him on today. It'll be a fun conversation. They're developing a gaming studio. They're doing a lot of cool stuff around Roblox, just a lot of cool stuff in general. And of course, like I said, their pockets are $250,000 more heavy now after winning a Pump Fun Hackathon. So there's a lot there. Questions are going to be around, what's going on for the Ace Round developments recently. Roblox, just like the general economy, is pretty crazy and nutty if you guys are not familiar. All right, guys, without further ado, G Sparrow, GMCG, guys, we got a good one for you. Let's get Davey up here. Davey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Tom?
What's up? I'm doing good, man. How's your day going?
It's going awesome. Beautiful sunny day here, and got a ton done. Remembered we had this interview today, so cut my hair real quick and jumped on.
Oh, you're looking good, man. I like the cut. Nonetheless, let's jump straight into it. And sorry, there's a bit of lag here, so if I'm a little behind, that's why. Nonetheless, let's jump straight into it. It's been a little while since we've had you on, but not everyone is familiar with what you guys have done, your background, all that stuff. And so just like we did last time, let's start, with your background and give the new audience a general overview, and then we'll jump straight into the updates, because you did tell me you got some stuff to announce and talk about today. So I'm excited to get into that.
Definitely. So I've been developing for a lot of, I would say, a few decades already. I learned to code as a little kid because I wanted to make games someday. So I started real early with things like Flash, etc. I was lucky enough to be a huge fanboy of some MMOs at a company called Turbine Games, where I was able to apply. I got rejected because I had no college degree. And then about a year later, they called and said, "Hey, man, you want to come back in? We've got a job that might be good for you."
Nice.
So I was doing managing software development for a bunch of casual, hyper-casual games at a company called Gamesville at the time. I went in there and I was able to join Turbine. They became Warner Brothers. I was able to work on some AAA MMOs like Lord of the Rings Online, D&D Online, Asheron's Call, etc. And I've been making indie games for a lot of years, Dom. So I actually started a Facebook group for game developers. It's got over 100,000 game developers in it now.
Wow.
So I've seen a lot of people kind of grow up from the trenches, if you will. People who want to learn, people who end up going on to work at like Unreal, on Fortnite, and do every little thing. And I've made a lot of game systems and architecture myself. Also, I'm super into Web3. I love the promise of Web3 for NFTs, like player-owned economies, portable, all those things we used to talk about all the time,
yeah,
and coin integration. So I was working on a Web3 game last year with live streaming on Pump Fun, and it was not a great at the time for Web3 gaming. And I was like, okay, I gave this a few years straight of like heavy development is not taken off. What is taken off? So I looked and saw AI has been making a lot of people have job scarcity. Some of the people I worked with at the Game 7 Web3 Gaming DAO, we got laid off. We were working on World of Warcraft, Web3 version of World of Warcraft.
Okay.
And everybody had trouble getting a job. So I said, AI looks like it's going to be a great tool, but it is going to make job scarcity an issue. Roblox seems to have a good thing going. Let me look at it again. That was December. So I made a couple of plugins real quick to bring in Web3 data into a Roblox game. That's kind of where I started. I've got 4 kids, and one of my sons wanted to work on a Roblox game with me. So I was like, all right, let me see what's broken here, you know? And I found a ton of things to fix. I was surprised that those were problems in the ecosystem, and I kind of dove right in. So that's, you know, I'm not going to talk for a half hour straight, but that's the overview.
No, I love it. You have an extensive background in game development. You know, one thing that jumps out at me, and I love your, I guess, opinion on this, you have this massive community, over 100,000 developers. You've been developing indie games and games just in general for a long time now. And you kind of decided to branch off and, you know, build your own studio, you know, largely around Roblox, which I think we're going to get into more in a second here. But I want to ask you, you know, this advent of AI, you know, it seems to be a driving factor in, I guess, your decision here and some of your thinking, you know, what can we fix? What can we make better? Why is AI something that people are talking about? And you jumped in at the right time, right? Obviously, it's blown up tremendously since I think you really got involved. But when you look at AI today, and of course, our Monday episode, we had a lot of games on, lots of which were developed with, you know, Fable 5 or the help of other AI models. How is this changing indie games now? What does this mean for like gaming studios and like the ability to create games that were maybe once very unattainable or difficult to do?
It's a instant and transformational shift, and I have a lot of people in my game dev community who are trying to pretend it's not happening. They're still trying to pretend it's not a real thing, but it has made the difficulty of building a game a non-issue. So I've been coding since the 80s. Okay. My coding experience is absolutely worthless. It's been months since I've had to code, probably 6 months. My experience in orchestrating and designing and figuring out what I want to build and being able to clearly communicate that's way more important than actually knowing syntax or whatever. You just don't need to know it anymore. So for many years, developers, not just game developers, but developers have been able to keep project managers at bay, being like, oh, this is a hard problem. It's going to take me a week or 2. We'll see it near the end of the sprint. That's crap. You can't hide behind that anymore because like it's a skill issue. You can't type, you can't talk. I don't even type a lot, dude. I use my microphone. I hit 2 keys and I like say, do this or this. I make a plan. Where my experience does come in very handy is in designing a larger system and making a plan. I will use multiple AI models to balance and check that plan, and then I'll execute it, picking the best strategy. So knowing how to use these tools is extremely important now. And of course, being able to afford and watch your spending. You don't have to watch your coding time. You just stay up late, drink some more coffee or whatever, keep going. Now it's a thing. You got to control your costs. So studios, and I have a son who works at a AAA studio in LA. Studios they've had to embrace it, because if you don't embrace it, your competition will, and your stock price goes down if you're a publicly held company. That's why we're seeing so many layoffs everywhere in the industry. It's a shift. It's not, it's a tremendous shift. So, costs are coming down, but wasteful costs are going up. People can't hide anymore. You can't waste time, pretend to be busy, and then deliver nothing at the end of a sprint. That's crap. It's gone. So, yeah, tolerance is out the window. Everything's changed now.
Which I think, yeah, it seems like for the best. And the people that have the most difficulty, I think, just accepting this are the people, I'm not gonna say like yourself, but that have been coding for since the 80s, or since this was even a thing in 20 years, and they're like, all this experience, it's got to be worth something. And I think they're in a bit of denial right now, just with how quick this has moved.
And it's like even artists and people who learn to model, it's like they put the time into learning that. They don't want all that time investment to be worth nothing,
right?
And that's the sad truth. Is your creativity is worth something. The way you execute is worth something, but the skills of knowing where to click, no, I'm sorry, it's gone.
So this really interesting, fascinating discussion, by the way, because it is important. And I think so. What I've gotten so far is you have this extensive background in this industry. AI has really sped this up. Where does that put you today in terms of what you're building and what you have to offer the people here?
Yeah. So the opportunity that I saw is that people are going to be dumped onto the job market. A lot of game developers be dumped onto the job market that worked in studios previously. They will have the ability that's like they're going to want to go make games. A lot of them are going to pick Roblox because of its distribution. You've got an instant user base. It's like 150 million daily active users. They've got a monetization system. You don't have to build the networking, all that stuff. So I saw this opportunity where more and more people will be coming into the ecosystem, where the people who are already there and who have tools need to know how to make their games better, how to get users, right? Because marketing is always an issue, and how to design and plan better. So I chose to focus on realizing that the AI tools are going to get better and better and better, and they have since December. It's way different. Fable it's a game changer, but if you don't have a good design, game is going to look generic, like it was created by AI. If you don't have a good monetization structure, nobody's going to fix that for you. If you don't know how to create your assets and stuff, that's all time that you're going to spend twiddling your thumbs. Like, I made a game, but it's not out there. It's not monetized. It's not marketed. Those are all the ecosystem problems, that I'm here to solve. So I'm making plugins. We're starting with Roblox, but I'm making plugins for every Roblox developer or studio to be able to use to increase their monetization, increase the fun that their players have, and increase their analytics insight. Be able to see what's going on inside your game and make suggestions, but also be able to provide the new game developer, all the new people who are coming in, with a good plan and design. Blocks Builder, the platform that we built, all of our plugins are basically marketing. All the games that we make are basically marketing to drive people to Blocks Builder. It will create a plan for you using an orchestrated AI team. There's a lead dev, there's an artist, there's a coder who will structure your stuff, and it will basically tell you, here's what you should do to build this game. Like, here is the order in which it should happen. You can prototype your UI using mockups. You can create all of your in-app purchase stuff. You can create your achievement stuff. This is all stuff that is going to take you hours and hours and hours to do, and you might not be that good at it. So I've created kind of a way to take all of that guesswork out of it and give you a structured task list to go through. Then you can use any AI tool to build whatever you want, but you're not going to be wasting tokens. You don't have to guess, is this a good plan? Do I know what I'm doing? Because I'm leading you right through it.
Interesting. I want to touch on like the Roblox economy. You said, that's where you're starting. It's not necessarily the end goal, but it's where you're focusing on right now. And you're building all this tooling out for developers. I want to understand this market generally a bit better, because I don't think people are aware. Like, Roblox is massive. And the people on this game that are creating like in-game. So for those who don't understand Roblox, you can enter Roblox and there's all these different sort of games that are community created, that individuals create. And those games individually blow up and become very, very lucrative a lot of the time. Maybe just talk me through the current market you guys are operating in and working in, so we can understand the Roblox economy better, to really understand your business model here.
They used to be targeted primarily towards children. That's because iPad kids can play Roblox on an iPad. So it grew from there. Last year, they paid out over $1.5 billion to developers. Okay, to people who are making games on their platform.
Crazy.
These are people who didn't have to figure out multiplayer coding, server hosting. All these Web3 game devs, including myself, had to know all that stuff: socket coding, voice communication, safety, privacy. Roblox just does all that. People click a button, you buy something. And they have distribution. They have users. Your game will get shown to users. You can buy ads on the platform to sort of send your game into the stream, right? And that's what's exciting, because I used to do a lot of work in advertising and publishing on both sides of the desk. I used to run a massive flash gaming business, and I used to do something called arbitrage, which is you pay money to get a user onto your website, and then you show ads to that user to monetize that user. The difference between what you spent to bring the user in and what you earned in the ads, that's called arbitrage. There's a profit margin there. Roblox can essentially be made the same way. If your game isn't a viral hit because it's not marketed well, you can still push ads at it, watch users come in, watch what they do, what they don't do. When you've got the numbers dialed in, say, okay, I'm earning 25 cents per user, I'm spending 5 cents per user on ads. Well, then you have a profit margin that you can blow up, right? So there's a huge economy here. There's a huge number of users. They're a publicly traded company. They're focused on increasing their user base. Now they're expanding into the older demographic, and they pay more for older users who are on the platform. So we're starting to see on the last couple of weeks, new FPS games come out and new higher fidelity games. We're used to seeing blocky, like Lego looking games on Roblox, and that's going to be the majority for a long time. But we're now also seeing AAA quality games with the shaders, the graphics, all that kind of stuff. So that's the market we're looking to play in. I know that more and more people are coming to it. We're going to be making games ourselves on this platform. It's a way of testing your own dog food, right? Testing dog food, eating dog food, and making sure that your stuff is monetizing well, that I'm making good suggestions, that I'm reading the signals right. I know that Roblox is investing heavily into AI. Unreal is investing heavily into AI. Epic is investing. So all these companies are building AI tools. I don't have the budget or time or manpower to compete with them. Where I can compete is I know how to build a good game. I know how to do good game distribution. And I have some actually pretty innovative ideas for streaming and marketing that we're going to give to people for free and get them into our platform. So I'm going to help people make games and make money. Hopefully that'll offset some of this job shifting that AI is causing everybody.
Interesting. And you have a bit of a free top line funnel to kind of get people into the ecosystem. I want to ask on a side note, from what I've heard, is there actually a lot of funds that are coming in and buying up games that people are developing?
Yes.
Is that the truth? Yeah. Am I hearing
that? That is the truth. On all scales, okay, it's happening quite a bit because Roblox is really unique in that it takes advantage of trends. So I've actually built a trend identification engine, which will go to Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, identify videos that are on there that have that are growing and trending, that are backed up by YouTube views, and can pull out game loops out of those things. What will happen is that somebody will create a game, it'll start taking it off. Somebody picks up on it, well, they'll clone it, change some stuff up, whatever. But the good game studios, the people who've dialed in the monetization and the user growth, they get offers all the time. But there are also scams out there. That's one of the things I saw, dude, is that people were getting scammed all the time. They were on both sides. They were lying about their numbers, or they were getting scammed on offers. That's one of the reasons why I'm building Chain Connect. Okay, so that is actually a way to take Roblox data for gaming and play sessions or whatever, put it on the blockchain so that then you can use to verify your numbers. You can verify the spend, you can verify the user sessions, you can verify match outcomes so they can be used in things like prediction markets and stuff like that. That's one of the examples of like a problem I saw. I'm building a solution to help that. So now you can go in and be like, okay, you can't lie about your numbers. They're on the blockchain, baby. Here's a fair offer. But yeah, it's a real thing. And people are using like Discords and X to make these deals. So there's so many opportunities on the ecosystem right now.
Yeah, I heard about this, and I heard that hedge funds and firms were coming in, private equity firms were coming in and buying these games that these like 12, 13-year-old kids would make that are cash cows, which just sounded crazy to me. But hearing it from you,
revenue streams, everybody needs them.
Yeah. I guess with that, clearly this has been something you've been operating in for a while. Have you guys thought about turning Block's API, from not just this game studio, but also, a consulting firm at some level, to consult with some of these firms, consult with some of these hedge funds that need proprietary information, proprietary data? You just mentioned you were building something on the blockchain to track all of this stuff. Are you guys open to consulting work as well, or is this not something you're looking at right now?
I do a lot of that stuff as just who I am. I will get a lot of DMs of people asking me, hey, do you know somebody? What do you think of this or whatever? And those are increasing in frequency now as people see more and more of kind of what you do. You go on camera, it's like you go on camera for a lot of time, people get the idea of who you are, the level of your integrity, whether they can trust you, whether you have a valid opinion, etc. And they'll come to you and ask you questions. We all do that. I have a good friend who is the master trader. I will go to him with questions.
Sure.
So yeah, people are coming, and we are open to that kind of stuff. We just cooked up a marketing company and a builder company just last night in the DMs on X. So yeah, it's happening all the time.
Love it. I have Crypto Jones asking a few questions here, and then we'll kind of get more into some other stuff. Crypto Jones says game testing for bugs and glitches is a huge cost to developers. Can AI solve this issue? I think this kind of goes back to our previous conversation regarding AI and just the innovations it's made.
That's a great question. It all comes down to kind of what your process is for testing. My personal process is to use something called an MCP server. Okay, that lets your AI tool connect with like Roblox Studio. It'll take screenshots. Okay, it'll run a player up and click on something. It'll find a bug, and it'll do it while you're not even away. Sometimes I do it from my phone on my couch. They test my game, and it'll just run through everything and check it. So that's an example of a bug or glitch. If you're trying to do it manually, you're going to have, did you think of everything? Did you test it appropriately? Are you thinking like a bad guy thinks? I don't. I need cool tools like Zoff to find my weaknesses. They're another hackathon company that won. Find the weaknesses in my platform. Tell me what they are. I don't think like the bad guys. You have to sometimes. You have to like put on a dark hat and be like,
be the villain.
What is somebody gonna do to like exploit my game? There are some rules of thumb you use when developing a game. It's called never trust the client. Always assume that there's somebody who's going to be using a system in a way that you didn't think of. So you have to build kind of safety measures and use AI as a second brain. Use 2 AIs to back up the first. You'll find your glitches. It'll automate things for you. So take advantage of that.
Okay, so AI is a game changer for bug testing and whatnot. Very cool. Another question is your product a dev kit or launchpad? So I guess maybe we get to some clarity around product and the ecosystem of products you have.
Yeah.
One thing on the show that sometimes becomes an issue is we talk to people that have a suite of different products, and it's kind of hard to dial in on what their core offering is. So with this question, yeah, right. So with this question from Crypto Jones, is your product a dev kit or a launchpad for developers to build out their ideas and bring to market? Maybe we could just dial in on the exact product offering that you're bringing to market here.
Yeah. So do I share or do I talk?
What do you mean?
I can show.
Can we do both?
We can do both.
Let's do
All
both.
Right. Let's do both. Dial this up real quick.
No worries.
Share screen. Blah, 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 blah. Share screen. And we'll do entire screen. This one. Go.
All right. I got you pulled up here now. Okay. Let's talk about it.
Yes. So this is Blocks Builder. I'm a studio. I have a lot of games. So I'm going to open up a game. When I want to create a game, I can actually go and make a new game. There's lots of different ways you can make a new game. You can build a game off a viral loop that we've identified. You could start from scratch. You can import an existing game, or you can have a different wizard that will bring you through stuff like, is it a FPS? Is it a obby? Is it a strategy game? All that kind of stuff. But when you have a game like in progress, you basically have these build modes where you like set up your monetization, and it will give you lots of ideas from monetization, a whole catalog full of stuff. Okay. I actually set up all my dev products. So this integrates directly with a Roblox platform and creates all the things that people are going to buy. So I have set that all up. So you don't have to go to their website and figure it out. It's all like here. And if you don't have ideas, it's going to give you ideas. This will set up all your.
Is there any way we could zoom this in a little bit too, so we can blow it up for the people?
Yes, sir.
Love it. Perfect.
Is that better?
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. This will let you do a lot of stuff on the platform. So it'll help you create a game from scratch using lots of different methods. I'll show you this, for example, which is Discover. This is where I have an automated process that goes out and identifies game loops. You can just use any of these game loops and start to use it to make a new game. It's going to say, what's the game theme? Well, what do you want to call it? And you can type in as much as you want yourself, or you can use AI to help figure stuff out. What's the different name? And it's this whole wizard that'll lead you through things. And I've set up kind of an AI squad, which is a group of AI agents that will work together to plan things out. And then there's one that's specialized in like visual design, etc. They'll give you the overall look and feel for what the game is. You can use it. Actually, I'm going to click while this is generating all the tasks for stuff. And you can see it's spending credits. It makes a little plan for you. A game design document. Everybody needs one of those. The UI planning. What's the visual style guide going to look like? building the task system and kind of taking you through what you're going to have to do it. And then it will actually do it for you. So it creates this task board for you. Then you run through it one step at a time to build your game out. You can have AI do it, or you can have teammates do it, add them to your studio. One of the things that I'm super excited about, because I'm terrible at artwork and UI, is to do things like create mock-ups for UI. Do I want a main menu? In-game HUDs for shop, leaderboards, etc. This will create several different ideas for you to pick from, and then it will, instead of building it for you, it gives you a breakdown of you need this button, that button, this button. So you can go build it, or you can copy and paste a prompt into your tool of choice to build it. It tells you what to do for marketing. We'll create your thumbnails, your hero images, your icons for you, and teaser videos. So basically, it will help you build your game. Yes, it'll interact with Roblox Studio directly. It'll also interact with X to create posts for you, show you what you need to do for marketing to help you build all that stuff. And that's the kind of like the most, I didn't set up tasks for this because I'm kind of doing it by hand. But on some of the other games that we have set up, like this one, we have a full task list. Each of these things has like a game design doc that comes along with it. So it's got all the stuff you need to build a game without actually building the game. There's a difference, okay? Everybody's got their own tool set that they like to use. I can afford to use the Claude Max Pro plan, for example. Not everybody can. Some people have 5 friends that they want to build stuff with. This gives you an expert level task list to actually do it. So whether you're an expert or a pure beginner, there's something here for you to use and shave off a ton of time from your building.
Interesting. And I want to get into the economic model of this, but at some point you said all these people use their different tools of choice to build these or code these. You use the Claude Max plan. Recently, we've been having a lot of conversations with inference providers, right? They provide all the different inference models, and they offer really steep discounts on these. Have you guys considered integrating, an inference provider into the platform so people can just go straight to the platform and use the inference through you guys?
Actually, I'm working with DigitalOcean to add their inference provider directly. Well, they're added. I'm just comparing costs and time, basically. So there's a trade-off that you make when you're using a frontier model like I do. I'm paying for it, right? And it's very fast. So I get that. If you're using some of the models that are open source, whatever, they may not be as good for coding, but they're going to be really good for other things. So I'm using an inference model from DigitalOcean, which will kind of steer amongst all of them. We don't have it set up. We've had a couple of people ask, hey, can we hook up our own models? I have a ton of them that I use inside Blocks Builder. I'm using like 8 different models from several different providers, including some open source. So, and I'm keeping track of credits used and how much they cost on each one of them to make sure I have a blended kind of credit model, which is what you were talking about before of monetization. You buy credits using token or dollars and use to spend them to do stuff. Whether it's your marketing videos, your code snippets, your design, all that kind of stuff.
Very simple and straightforward economic model there.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
the monetization. There is a question about integrate the ability to add a token into your game. That actually I took it off of here because most of my Roblox developers aren't into crypto. So I do have that. I am into crypto. I like integrating tokens into games. You can't do that with Roblox though. They have a very strict real money trading policy where you cannot do that. If anybody claims, I know there's a couple of tokens out there that claim you can use a token inside the Roblox game, you can't. I originally hoped to do that last year, found out you can't, pivoted. This is what I pivoted to. So yeah, it's important to note this though. I am starting with Roblox because of its distribution and they're paying a lot of money out. However, the platform itself is using Roblox just as a layer. Later on this summer, we're going to be supporting things like GTA 6, which uses the same coding language as Roblox does, and also all the other game engines one by one. So this platform itself has got a very nice squad-based strategy for building games for any platform, which is starting with Roblox.
Okay,
So, yeah.
we've done a great job, I think, getting your background, understanding the economy of Roblox that you operating, understanding the product, problem, solution, all that good stuff. I think next kind of goes to like future. We talked a bit
Yep.
about integrating future games like GTA 6 and so on and so forth. let's talk about user base. Let's talk about future. You got $250,000 from winning the Pump Fun Hackathon. By the way, huge congrats. I'm sure that's super validating. They've been handpicking some very quality teams. So to make that list, you know, they're high praise to you for that. So with that said, you know, what kind of happens next? You have $250,000 now. I think development's probably in full force. Are you expanding the team? Are you using this on marketing? Are you building out new products? What kind of happens from here is my question.
So the opportunity is here, and I'm trying to basically do as much as I can, as fast as I can, to grab at the existing opportunity, get the developers in. The opportunity to actually create games on the Roblox platform and make money that way while testing the tools is huge. So we're using the funding to expand the marketing side of things, because we want to bring more people in. We built a Trust Connect plugin because Roblox is getting sued all the time for like child trust issues. You know, we're building the Stream Connect plugin to get streamers in, to make games more viral. We're building Chain Connect to help put games on chain for lots of different reasons, including prediction markets and funding and buying things, etc. And another one called Hero AI, which brings cross-game interaction. So we're doing a lot of innovative things that don't exist right now, no competition whatsoever in the Roblox ecosystem. So all of those things require marketing efforts, whatever, because nobody's going to come to it if you can't get it out there. So I could build all day long. I need a lot of help with getting the word out and getting marketing done. So that's where a lot of our effort is going to go. And there's another product. I mean, as GTA 6 comes out, all these products are designed to bring attention to our main thing. We'll be building games on the platform. We have 4 games in production right now just to demonstrate our platform and plugins. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there to actually generate. We're looking to generate revenue quick. When Pump Fun picked the hackathon winners, they asked us extensive questions about our business model, revenue streams, you know, tokenomics, how we plan on getting things out. That's how they chose people. They didn't roll some dice and say, you know, you look good, you're a cool meme. I think people were hoping that, but that's not what happened. They interviewed us. We gave them business plans. We answered extensive questionnaires. We detailed our revenue models. They said, you look like a good bet to invest in. Here's $250,000 to build a massive business.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're at right now.
And with that, and I want to ask some of these questions too. And with that, you know, you have some significant runway now. Lots of that's going to go to marketing. Maybe a bit hard to project how much spend's going to go to marketing because it's probably just going to be, you know, case by case situation. But what does your current runway look like with that 250K and I guess maybe current platform revenues?
So we actually have already started spending a little bit of money on collabs with YouTube streamers that specialize in Roblox. So we're in the crypto Twitter audience on X. That's not where our audience lives. Our main audience lives on the Roblox world and the Roblox creator world, etc.
Right.
To start from there, and the game developer world. That's my Facebook group, for example. I don't have to spend any money to get over to them. We're starting marketing there this summer. Basically, it's going to be video content, getting people out there, doing interviews, doing those things that don't scale. Of let's say, try a plugin, try the platform, come talk to us. Let's find out what worked. Sorry.
Right, top of funnel stuff. Just getting everyone on board.
Yep, and Pump Fun is helping with the marketing campaigns, and we're going to sort of kick those off after we have some use cases and user validation, where we can say we have 20 games that have launched with the platform. Bam, there's a marketing campaign that's already fleshed out that can kick into overdrive. They have a PR firm that we're working with, so there's a lot that needs to be done there with marketing.
Nice, very nice. What about user growth so far? You built out this cool platform. Obviously, you've started to market a little bit. I think I agree with what you said. Building out games on the platform. If one of those games is a smash hit and goes viral, people are certainly going to look how to make the next one. And if they'll be able to tie this back to, you know, the Blocks platform, well, you know, that's a great top of funnel as well. What's your strategy there with the games you're currently trying to create? Is that, you know, I guess the thinking?
That is the exact thinking, and that's where this plugin called Stream Connect comes into play. It's a very simple plugin that any Roblox game can just add with 1 or 2 clicks. And if you're a streamer who's streaming on Twitch or YouTube, your viewer count shows up over your head when you're inside a game that supports that. And that the game can also do other mechanics based on that, depending on your viewer count and how many people are watching, etc. You can do different game mechanics. This is an example of something that is, again, no competition. So because we're working with a couple of YouTube streamers to make both pre-done videos and live streams of our games, that's going to bring attention. Streamers bring attention. So by creating plugins that will bring streamers into games, that will bring more attention to games. It's sort of like its own viral feedback loop through that. So that's kind of where we're focusing on the users that can. It's the most bang for the buck. Yes, we will pay some of them to do it. It's well worth it. Very well worth it.
Got you. In the vein of asking some of the questions that Pump Fund maybe ask you guys for this extensive questionnaire, what would you say when it comes to growth numbers and scaling this growth? Do you have any projections or anything you can comment on, I guess maybe in the past couple months, how much you've grown, numbers, anything like that?
Yep. So we've had a few hundred users. Actually, it's more like 350 users apply to test out the platform. I've been sort of gating it 10 at a time to come in and test things out as people build games. It has taken a while for me as a solo developer to sort of bring stuff together while building. So I have a full platform, which I showed you some of. It goes way deeper. I have 3 different plugins. I have Trust Connect, Stream Connect, Chain Connect, and another one that hasn't been mentioned yet, that have all been developed. 2 of those have been released already. So there's been in the last 6 months, and only 3 months since we won the hackathon, there's been a lot of work done to build up the platform to make it usable. Over the last week, I've been working with my son, who won the Bags App hackathon, by the way. He's a great little AI builder, 13 years old.
Wild.
I started this project so we could work on a Roblox game together. It's like, hey, Dad, I want to build a game with you. So that's why we started this.
He won the Bags hackathon. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he did, dude.
Wow.
His name is Jack Builds, and he won the Bags App hackathon about a month ago. 10 grand at 13 years old.
Not so bad.
Crazy. Yeah. Now
when I was 13 years old, I was like, I was like playing Fortnite, not building it.
Yeah. So guess what we're doing? I have a game called Kitten Empire that we built. We looked on Roblox. We saw what looks like it's trendy. It's like, we want to do that, bang out quick. Use Blocks Builder to figure out how we can make it faster. Use our AI tools to figure out what are the pain points. I've built some games, but never pushed them out and got a lot of money on them. Now I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend the money on their own ad system to bring in users and test that stuff. So we built a game in about a week using Blocks Builder for the planning and all that stuff for creating the badges and the monetization items. And now we're going to push that out. And that'll be its own form of content, that I'm going to have a streamer go check out live on stream with his audience. Other streamers are going to want to do that as well. So every game we put out is going to have our plugins in it. So that will bring people back to us, bring people back to the water, the source.
There we go. We have to wrap shortly here because we do have our next guest on, but I want to fire through a few questions, largely on tokenomics. Where does the token kind of tie into this? And then of course, just like roadmap and grand vision here. So maybe we'll start at the tokenomics. You've told us everything about the platform, how it works, the APIs, the plugins, the vision. Maybe tell me where the tokenomics tie into this and, why people should look to the Blocks token as a potential upside on this vision you have.
Definitely. So right now, the token is the only way to buy credits on the Blocks Builder platform. And I'm going to maintain that for a little bit to have a sort of exclusive access for token. I have Stripe integrated. It's not going live until a little bit of time has passed after release. Okay. So that's one reason, but that's only going to be for the crypto Twitter audience that's interested in that kind of stuff. Regular Roblox developers don't care about crypto. Where the token is going to come into play as we move past Roblox and embrace other platforms as well. We can integrate tokenomics into games that we create. We can even do a launchpad with tokens, etc. You're going to need to have Blocks token to be able to do that sort of stuff. And we have a very special product that's going to be released probably in the fall after we get past some of these other things. That is a massive utility for the Blocks token itself. So things are easy to build, so I'm not going to describe it very much right now. It'll be a surprise.
All right, there you go.
That's awful, and I'm sorry, but it's a surprise.
Yeah, I mean,
thanks for having me on, Dom.
Way for leaving us on the edge there. What about roadmap and future vision? I guess just to kind of put a bow on this thing, we want to talk about where you see this going, because no one can really understand this like somebody that's in the thick of it, in the weeds. So when you take a step back from this business, it's been around for 6 months now, 3 months post hackathon winning from Pump Fund. Where do you see this going in 6 months to a year from now? What does the grand vision look like? What can kind of people get excited about?
It's the sheer size of the market for this. It's the sheer size of it. I would say around last December, I was in a rough place when I decided to sort of pivot to building this by losing faith in Web3 gaming at the time because it failed to sustain me and my family. And I saw what AI was doing. My predictions, what I thought would happen in terms of like the shift, the technology, the job shift, has happened like step for step, and it's crazy, including the free time people have, which means more time spent in games. The jobs people have lost, which means they're looking for income revenue. I'm creating things that will help people to make money. Those are the best kind of products you can possibly make, whether you're a small builder or you're a studio. So that's kind of like where I'm focused, and that's going to continue to go as jobs shift. So we only need a small, tiny little bit of this massive market, even on Roblox, to have a very sustainable income. So add tokenomics and other things into it, and it creates a little piece of wildfire that's exciting to me.
Yeah, and just for the sake of everybody understanding, I guess, Roblox further, how much are some of these games making? I mean, there are 13-year-old
over $1 million a year. Some of the top, I think it's top 1,000 or so. I said that wrong. It's like the top 300 creators have earned over $1 million each per year. It is not uncommon. I mean, how much do you need for a spare income to say, hey, I'm making money on the side? Yeah. It's pretty easy to make. Well, a lot of games don't make anything, but you can make thousands of dollars per month by cranking something up. That's what we're trying to do. Help you crank it up, get it out there, get it marketed, and get your community in, identify problems, and fix them fast.
There are 300 creators making $1 million a year on Roblox.
I said that wrong. I can pick up the number. There's been several. It's easily looked up. There have been several articles that said like out of this 1.5 billion that was spent out, it was like the top. I think is either 1 to 300 have earned up to $1 million each.
Wow.
So I'll have to get the fact on that one. But yeah, it's a lot.
It's a big market.
More than you'd think.
Yeah, Davey. Well, this is it's been a pleasure. We're looking forward to it. We appreciate you coming on here. You did mention a few updates. Anything I missed today, or some updates, some alpha you want to leave the people with, or we covered it all?
Just that we're a classic case of expect the unexpected. My roadmap has been pretty clear of what we're building. I build based on need and what I see the market needs. There are some surprises coming. So thanks for having me on. You guys do an awesome job and an excellent job with your wrap-ups. And my community was so excited that you invited me.
Well, we're excited. We'll get you on. Excuse me, Davey. Talk soon.
All right. Bye.
Peace. All right, guys. On to the next one here. We got Velvet coming up. This is like our first Binance one. I'm gonna pull my boy Chill up. Chill, if you're ready. I mean, or you could just hop up yourself here. Chill, what's going on?
Yo, boys, and real quick, great interview with Blocks. That was the top 100 developers have earned $1 million per year, and the top like 10 have earned like 33 million each or something. Like that was the but yeah, massive market. Great interview. And chat, Dom was actually playing, like he was actually just kind of being a little coy at the beginning of the interview where he said, you know, this is the handsome, this is the chat is PFP to PFP. Come on now. Let's come on. The real guy is on screen.
Let's do side by side.
Side by side.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep the Velvet boys waiting because we did go late, and I extend my apologies for that. We ran a little late on the episode before, so we just behind today. But we got Michael coming up. We got Michael and Vass coming up today to talk about Velvet. Chill. This is the first Binance token we've had, and you guys might have caught it recently. I gotta pull up the chart real quick before I have them on because this one got. I mean. Some of the craziest Binance candles we've seen, you know, the classic, if you will, the classic Binance chart. It went from 40 million to 800 mil. I mean, I was shocked. I'm like,
jeez,
what is going on here? I haven't seen. I mean, you only see this on Binance. Went from 40 mil to 800 million. And so, you know, Chill's mentioned, you know, we should get the team on. You might know more than I do, but I think this is a trading platform. They're backed by YZY Labs. So we're going to have them come up, see what's different, see what's unique, special, you know, why the heck this thing pumped to 800 million, you know, if CZ's behind the curtains, pulling some strings or what. But with that being said, Michael Vass, welcome to the show, guys. We appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I was listening for a little bit just right there, and seems like a great show. And yeah, thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, absolutely, fellas.
How you doing?
Doing good. Look at
Doing
you guys. You guys
well.
are in the Velvet Capital studio. I need one of those for MCG. Looks much better than my setup.
Yeah, I got a gray wall behind me, so it helps to have a background going.
Love it. Love it. All right, you guys, like I just prepped the show with looking at the chart. There's clearly been some buzz around this recently. You know, want to get your backgrounds, want to, you know, jump straight into it and get to know the product a little bit better. But I don't know, Michael, maybe you start off, Vass, then we jump into you. But can I just get your backgrounds and get a better understanding of where you fit into the picture for Velvet Capital here?
Yeah, no problem. So I'm the chief DGen officer of Velvet. I started working at Velvet while I was still in college at the time, my sophomore year, I think it was, when started working at Velvet and started helping on the growth side and building it out, and now run all of our BD and growth and getting the word about Velvet out there. And yeah, I've started doing a bunch of the live stream side, podcast side, trying to really get the word about Velvet out. And it's been quite exciting 4.5 years now that we've been at it. And yeah, we've pivoted multiple times with our product since I've joined. We went through originally the Binance Most Valuable Builder hackathon, went all the way now to launching we now are on our 4th product iteration, and yeah, we've been at it since early 2022. So been a long journey, and yeah, a lot of ups and downs, but yeah, been pretty good the last few months for all of our updates and what we've come out with.
Very nice. And Vass, am I saying this right? Vass? Is it vase, like the thing we keep plants in?
No, it's Vas. It's all right. Yeah, I got this nickname when I was back in Australia, but the full name is Vasily. Yeah, happy to be here. Look, I've been in the space since 2016, so just trading, investing myself, going through the ICO craziness. Was on the VC side, one of the first VCs in Singapore back in 2019. Went through all this DeFi summer, NFT craziness, meme coin, what have you. And essentially, we started building Velvet back in 2022 to, help people make sense of all this mess and, help you win on chain and get your own unfair advantage. And what started as an on-chain asset management and sort of portfolio management protocol now pivoted into a full-fledged AI terminal where you can trade anything on chain, spot, meme coins, perps. You can track other traders. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our new app where we index 13 million different wallets and social profiles, so you can track what other people do and follow them. You can also use our AI. We essentially built our own framework, and a little bit of a teaser. We're going to have our own model that we're training right now. And we built it all into one unified experience, creating this SocialFi, which is social finance and AI app that we're rolling out right now. So that's what we announced a couple of weeks back, and sort of now just scaling it up and letting in people by invite only.
Bang. Let's talk a bit about this trading terminal. We've seen trading terminals have been all the rage. I mean, I think Axiom, for example, was one of the fastest growing companies of all time. We saw, from that Photon, then of course FOMO came around. They just closed a $75 million round recently. There's a lot of money in the terminal game, and we've kind of seen this transition from trading terminals that make it really convenient to trade to now social terminals are very important. I'm also seeing a bit of a move to like a rewarding edge, right? You make a post and if someone trades off your post, you get paid. Where do you guys and of course now we have AI coming into the picture too with everything too. Where do you guys come into the picture with something new and unique and a fresh kind of set of eyes on the trading terminal market? Because there is a lot of competition and you have to be unique to really win.
Yeah, so maybe a bit about history, because I think we're pretty different from other terminals just in terms of the background, because we came from, hardcore DeFi development. We built all our smart contracts for on-chain asset management. We used to build DeFi strategies and help others build DeFi strategies. So we came from the EVM hardcore DeFi side, whereas a lot of terminals, they just came from, Solana meme coin trading side. So that kind of gives us a little bit of a different perspective, and that's where we started actually, helping you ape into DeFi yield positions. So you not just trade the meme coin, you can go and put your liquidity into any DeFi pool to earn yield. You could create a portfolio, and that's sort of how the whole sort of differentiation came together. And I would say our community was mostly from BNB chain back in the day. Then Base became quite big, and obviously Solana caught up as well. But initially, it was a lot of EVM traders coming in. So it's kind of just to give you a bit of history. Now, how we see ourselves in the market is somewhere where people would graduate to after entering the crypto, right? Because I'll tell a little bit about myself, right? So when I first came to Solana after being on EVM chains for a few years, obviously I started with just Phantom, trading coins on Jupiter and what have you. Very simple. Then I graduated to Telegram bots. Then I graduated to terminals. And essentially, Velvet is what helps you navigate everything from a single place, have more advanced features than, let's say, Moonshot or FOMO, which are focused on new users, right? And at the same time, have a lot of social and AI elements that would help you get insights, right? So you have notifications. We're building a social feed, which is not live right now, but it's coming up in the next couple of weeks. So again, I have this very cool social fi experience that will help you make sense of all this message.
If I may jump in, this is a rant, but I just seen it in this video here. You guys have a native terminal bridge. Inside the terminal, there's a bridge that you can swap from any chain. Wow. If I'm mistaken, you guys are, I want to say, one of maybe two terminals. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've seen this anywhere else.
Yeah, I think we're probably one of two. And one of the cool things about like our swaps is that, I mean, when I've been running transactions, the majority of them are settling on chain within 3 seconds. So no matter what chain you're going from to another chain, it's within 3 seconds. That can be a little slower on Ethereum L1. But if you're going from like BNB to Solana to Base, it should be quite quick. So you're still able to get into all those different memes that exist out there. And if you have money on Base and Ethereum, and then you want to catch a new Solana runner, you're not going to be too late just by going through the bridge. A lot of users that we've talked to over time, one of the issues has been, okay, I deposit money on Solana. Now I'm stuck on Solana. I'm just playing memes all day because my assets are stuck on Solana, and I don't want to have to withdraw and then send it to a bridge and then go to a different chain. And then by the time I do that, it's already late to catch this new runner that popped up on this other chain. So building out cross-chain swaps was one of the things we've worked on over the last few months, and then released it over the weekend. So that's been quite helpful for a lot of traders to be able to move from chain to chain, because we're now on 6 different chains. So Ethereum, Solana, Base, BNB, Monad, Sonic, and Hyperliquid. And so you're able to go and trade on all these different chains. And then we've also built out the ability to go and deposit on Hyperliquid with any asset you want. So you can take BNB token or Base token or Solana token and then easily send it over into your Hyperliquid account and be able to trade right from there. So you don't need to go and bridge over to Arbitrum, make sure you have ETH on Arbitrum, send USDC there, and then go onto the Perps platform. So we've built out a lot of account abstraction tools that are hopefully going to make it a lot easier for people to catch whatever runners happening on whatever chain or whatever asset class that exists in the market at the time.
Yeah,
this is really interesting. Oh, do you?
The last part is actually pretty cool, because just today, one of my friends was playing around with it, and he actually deposited from GTA 6 coin on Solana right into Hyperliquid, and then opened the perp position, everything in a span of a few seconds. So that's
it seems that's kind of the future we're headed in. I want to get your thoughts on this. I know Chill and I go way back. We've been trading together for a long time. And I remember there was a project called Router, which was essentially trying to solve this liquidity fragmentation issue we had on chain. And I think this liquidity fragmentation issue has only grown significantly as we see, a lot of activity on Base, activity on Solana, some activity on BNB. And, of course, FOMO being one of the other people that allows cross-chain, I think really normalized this. If you guys had to take a step back and look at this from a perspective of where we're headed in the future, do you think this kind of chain abstraction and abstracting the chain specific element away from trading is going to be something we see in the future, to where people just really subconsciously just take a trade and they don't have to think, oh, this is on Solana, oh, this is on BNB, oh, this is on Base, and it kind of just happens. Is this the direction we're headed into for obviously Velvet and all terminals, I guess, maybe in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of has to be. We've kind of probably went through all the people that are technical enough to be able to go and understand the different chains, understand how to go and trade, know what blockchain's what. And I think for the mass retail audience to be able to come into crypto and not be looking at it like this big daunting task to go trade, it all needs to be pretty much abstracted away from, okay, what I'm holding in my wallet, now it's connected to my email or my X account or my TikTok account or whatever it is, to, okay, this asset now exists on this chain and I got sent over a CA from a friend and I want to get in. Oh, wait, I don't have any assets on Solana. Now I need to figure out how I get assets on Solana. Do I go through a Coinbase or Binance account and deposit into a new wallet, or do I use a bridge from EVM over? And I think a lot of these things in crypto that have pushed like using different chains, making it so that you have to be pretty technical. I don't know if that audience, we're going to get much more from that audience that's technical enough and coming into this space. And I think going towards the more retail centric audience or the non-technical audience is really where the growth's going to be over the next 5 to 10 years. So you have to abstract away as much as possible. And that's kind of one of the big issues that's existed in crypto since the start, has been this whole usability and like friendly interfaces to new people coming into the market. And that's really what we're trying to build, is the easiest way to go trade on chain and then win with AI and social features. So that's kind of been our goal.
Yeah. And, from this question, I guess I would want to ask, what your strategy there is to go and target those users that you kind of just mentioned. Interesting statistic I saw, and unconfirmed, but the CEO of FOMO mentioned that 400 of the 500,000 users they have on the platform actually came outside of Twitter, which I found pretty fascinating. It seemed like they were catering to a non-native crypto audience. When you guys think about that, and maybe not that specifically, but just in general, you'd mentioned kind of this is somewhat of the people you're targeting and abstracting away the crypto elements, making it very simple, user-friendly. How do you go and do that? Because I'm looking at all these terminals and it's kind of difficult to pick the winner. How do you guys go and find that target audience you're looking to pursue and make it super simple for them to be onboarded and just use the platform?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with where you're trying to find them. I think crypto Twitter can kind of turn into a cesspool a lot of times. And if you're a new retail customer coming in, you're going into crypto Twitter and you're seeing, okay, if you post something like I bought this asset, you're going to have 800 people go and comment at you who bought a competitor and who are like have money behind a competitor, and they're going to be trashing you for buying that asset. And then you might buy a different asset and the same thing will happen again and again. So it's kind of turned into a cesspool of some sort, where it's not the easiest thing to get involved and to know what's really going on and what you should actually be doing on crypto Twitter. So a lot of the growth, I think, from the retail side has really come from platforms like Instagram or TikTok, where the people who've been in crypto for 10 years now aren't necessarily over there and creating content and being able to push it. But a lot of like the live streams, the podcasts, short clips, they're all kind of pushing and really gaining traction when you look at these other platforms that are out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's how like the new retail audience is going to come in. One of the things is retail is down quite a bit right now on crypto, but I mean, we've seen this plenty of times before where when prices are down, retail interest kind of falls away. Then when prices come back and there's some excitement with a new meme coin or whatever it is, retail starts to come back, and they're not going through crypto Twitter to be able to find what tokens to trade. They're looking at TikTok or they're looking at Instagram, and something pops up and they scroll by it, and then they see a new platform, they see a new token, and then they want to go and participate in that. So I think a lot of it has to do with platform centric, and how crypto Twitter's kind of evolved over time has been more of the longer standing people in crypto who know what they're talking about. And then it's very daunting for the average person to really get in and to decide, okay, yeah, I'm going to go participate in crypto Twitter and understand what people are talking about, because it does get quite technical a lot of times. It gets quite back and forth with arguments on Twitter. And so I think it makes sense that that's how the real growth will probably be, especially once we hit kind of an upcoming bull market back in crypto. It's going to be a lot more on those traditional platforms, I think.
Yeah, and then just to add to that, I think another interesting point is that when you look outside of the US, right, Twitter is not that sort of central to your social media stack, right? So if you look at Asia, people don't actually use Twitter except very, very deep technical researchers, right? So you got to go through other channels. You got to go through TikTok, YouTube, WeChat, and very, very sort of specific apps that are popular over there, right? Or Telegram for sort of a lot of Europe or Central Asia or what have you, right? So I think being sort of omni-channel and making sure you don't just stuck in your echo chamber on crypto Twitter, that's actually quite important. So I agree with with the FOMO guys there, and that's what we pushing from our side as well. And especially given the background of coming from the Binance ecosystem and sort of having all of that different sort of side of the world in terms of media and channels, that also gives us additional perspective that crypto Twitter is actually not the central part that we got to target now.
So there's a question we definitely want to get to, the YZ Labs backing. We want to get to some partnerships and anything that you guys have going on the traction side. But before we get to that, I had a question around kind of the user dynamic. I mean, we see that, obviously, like you said, retail is down, but I feel like retail is this big category that we refer that we say and that we talk about, but I feel as though it's almost splitting up into these different components. Like you have the FOMO retail, super simple. You don't have limit orders or all these stop losses and all the bells and whistles, the bubble maps that come along with it. You just have a simple buy and sell dynamic on any different chain. But then you also have what I like to refer to them as like this pro tail, where you're kind of there. These are the folks that are blending some like traditional trading strategies and deploying that on chain. Who are you guys focused on? Are you focused on like the net new retail, or are you focused on kind of the crypto native folks right now and competing in that arena?
Yeah, so most of our audience to date has been the crypto natives. We have advanced order types, whether it's TWAPs or limit orders or copy trading a wallet. So you can buy and sell based on a wallet going in and out of a token. So on memes, you can say, I want to hold this token, but if one of these top 10 wallets starts to send tokens and sell tokens, I want to get out of this token. Or you can set limit orders. And then we also have like perps and advanced order types around that. So we've kind of sat in between both of them, where we have an experience that we think is simple enough for the average person, where you can just say, okay, I want to buy $10 worth of this meme and just do a market order right now. Or you can go and click, okay, I want to do an advanced order type here. And I know what I'm doing here. I know I want to buy at these certain levels. I want to go and set an order. And then so both the pro and the kind of new user can use it. And then one of the things why we wanted to go in on the AI side of trading was to be able to bridge these two, because with AI, the average person can go in and be able to set these orders that are more complex and higher EV per trade, but they might not know how to set them up. But having AI go and either trade fully for you or give you, here's the levels you should be buying, here's how much you should be buying, and kind of making that bridge happen through AI has been a kind of a big push of ours and something that we've been building out since 2024. So we're pretty OGs when it comes to the crypto AI space. We were one of the first virtuals agents to launch back in October 2024, before anyone was even talking about AI agents in crypto. And we kind of had this vision that AI was going to be what can bridge the new user to becoming more of a pro user without needing the ability to really be super technical and super sophisticated when it comes to markets. So that's kind of how we've looked at it. And I don't know, Vas, if you want to elaborate on any of it, but yeah, we kind of see that convergence of crypto trading and AI making it much easier for that new user to then transition and guide them through what would a pro user be doing on chain.
Yeah, Vas, feel free to elaborate if you have anything.
Yeah. Look, I mean, the way I see it is that all of those platforms that focus on new users, they are great in converting them and onboarding, but they maybe not that great yet at retaining them as they grow. So, for example, let's take Moonshot, which I think they were very successful back 1 or 2 years ago. And obviously, when Trump meme coin came out, everyone used Moonshot to buy it and onboard. But how many of those people who bought their first Trump coin are still using Moonshot or are still on the app? I don't think that many. So how we see ourselves is we growing together with the user and we help the user grow, right? So if you come in and you don't know much, you have AI Copilot that can help you analyze the markets or even automate some of the things for you. As you progress and you learn more about the market, how all these bundles work, what KLs are doing, etc. You can go and enable all those more advanced features, order types, go deeper on the analysis side, etc. So our philosophy is that we, as you said, the retail, pro-tail, those are not two different species or not two different people with different DNAs, right? It's the same person who starts as a new user and then he grows or she grows and then into someone more advanced, right? So we got to grow together. That's the only way.
Nice. I guess the next thing maybe we can get into is the AI side of things. So you mentioned that you can use the AI to ape into yield strategies or what have you. We'd love to either see a demo or just kind of get a bit of a broader explanation around that. Is that like a portion of the terminal itself? Is that all native and you don't have to go anywhere, or how does that work from the user perspective?
Yeah, here, let me see if I can share my screen here and I can walk you through what it looks like on the app itself.
Yeah, you should see a plus button on the bottom. Perfect.
Okay, awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks like it's on now. So when you're on our app, you can look around, see all the different tokens that are trending on different page. We have the AI button right here. So like, let's say we want to go and take a look at cards, which has been pretty hot lately. You can look at the token. You can set either an instant order. So like this is like the simple, okay, I want to just buy X amount of this token. You can do a market order, which would go and just buy it at that certain time, buy or sell. You can do a swap, which would go from any token you want to that token itself. The limit order, where you can set, okay, if it goes down this much, I want to set this limit order, drag it on the chart, say, okay, how do I change this order? And then we have the AI right here. So you can say, you can ask it as in-depth questions as you want, but you can just start off. A lot of people like just doing a simple analysis on it that gives you fundamental, technical, social analysis on whichever token you're looking at. If it's a token that maybe just launched a minute ago, there might not be enough data to really give you a super in-depth analysis, but something like cards where it's been out for a long time, you'll be able to get a great analysis on here. So it gives you a great overview of kind of what's happening super simply, a bearish or bullish kind of leaning on the AI itself, different technicals here, and then gives you kind of why it leaned bearish or bullish. And then you can kind of go into as much depth as possible that you want to ask it. So like if you're trading a new meme coin, you can ask it about the bundled supply. What are these? What is the dev of this meme coin? What's their history? Are like whales starting to sell this token? Are they accumulating? What's smart money doing on this token? And really kind of being able to assist you in the whole process of analysis. So, I mean, how we look at it as like if you were going and you were trying to make a trade, it might have taken you back in 2021, 2022, you might have spent hours looking at the token and trying to figure all this out and looking through a bunch of different on-chain analytics and data sources. We've integrated all those data sources so you can just ask the AI about it, and it's specifically trained for crypto data. So that makes it much simpler. Maybe a 3, 4, 5 hour process turns into 10 to 15 minutes, which in crypto how long something takes you can be all of your edge or not. So like that's kind of the co-pilot there. And then last week, we also released the first version of our prompt to strategy, which allows you to take our AI agent, plug it into Claude or Codex, and then be able to automatically run these strategies 24/7 for you. So you're able to take our MCP, plug it into whatever AI model you want, and then be able to go through all of our data, go through our trade execution system, and be able to really run any strategy you want. So right now it's launched on Base, but it'll be on Solana, Hyperliquid, BNB, all the chains out there. You can run it through a bunch of different models, and then be able to really plug into these ecosystems. And we're already in like Virtual's ACP, X402, all the major kind of crypto AI convergence ecosystems there. And yeah, we think being able to really go and explain a strategy in natural language, take that, have it run for you, trade for you 24/7 is really going to be the future. But we want to have people being able to decide how much they actually want to use AI. So is it, I just want to use it to like be a research assistant, or do I want to use it to go and find what's happening on chain to a super sophisticated level? Or do I want it to go and find tokens for me that might be trending or might be overlooked at this time? Or do I really want it to go and fully run a strategy for me that exists 24/7? And that way I don't have to be looking at the market all the time, and it can go and find, okay, this meme coin's getting a lot of social awareness. It's maybe a few whales have started to pick it up. Maybe you've had accounts like an Ansem or Rasmus start to get onto it, and okay, I might be asleep right now, but the AI is a way for me to get on this token. So we have different levels of autonomy on the AI side, and we kind of help the user use AI to whatever extent that they wish to on the platform and with the AI tools that we've built.
That's awesome. I mean, I've seen a lot of sort of independent AI trading co-pilot, quote unquote, products, but never one that's kind of natively integrated into a trading terminal, which kind of is where it needs to be at the end of the day versus having to swap through one product and the next. So I really like that. But we have about like 10 minutes left, and I want to start getting to kind of token value accrual. I want to get into, you know, partnerships. What does the XYZ lab backing, or the YZ labs backing, do for you guys? So let's talk about first token value accrual. What's the purpose of the token?
And can I jump in on this too? I think I noticed you guys have two tokens, the Velvet token and the VU token, one on BNB, one on Virtuals. We've seen dual token models be largely unsuccessful in the past. Curious to know what token is tied to what product and why you guys have multiple tokens. Just give me the full runaround there, please.
Yeah. So I can start here, right? So we obviously have Velvet, which is the main token of the Velvet platform, and the main utility is tied to the platform itself, right? So you can stake it, and you have things like cashback on your fees, right? Similar to what Binance did with BNB, right? The more you stake, the lower fees you pay. Then we obviously have additional airdrops and staking rewards for stakers as well. So every month we've ran epochs that would reward stakers and traders with, you know, a fixed token allocation per month. We also, you know, have buybacks planned based on the platform usage and revenue. So we're looking at the Hyperliquid model, what they're doing with Hype, and we're now considering whether we got to funnel it via buybacks or additional staking rewards. That's another sort of still argument going on which one is a better sort of value accrual mechanism. But essentially, Velvet is the main token of the platform. Now, when you talk about VU token, is essentially the agent that we launched in Virtuals back in the day. So first, it started as an experiment with this AI agent, and it's directly tied to the agent, to all the capabilities that the agent has, and different developments. And you can think that, you know, we integrated Velvet Unicorn directly into the Velvet. So those two products are kind of correlated together. Whether you use Velvet platform, you have this co-pilot that will accrue value. or you can go directly and, for example, use Valid Unicorns through MCP, and there you can essentially use VU to pay for your API access or what have you, right? So that's kind of how we want to separate them into two sort of separate products or projects, if you will. But at the same time, obviously, they're part of the same ecosystem, so inevitably there's going to be a lot of connection. And when a couple of weeks ago, obviously Velvet was running itself, and we saw people coming into VU again, and thinking of it as a beta to the main token, which to some extent it might be, right? So that's sort of the high level rundown. But let me know, Michael, if I missed anything there.
Yeah, no, I think you pretty much covered it. But yeah, like Velvet's going to be our main platform token and has been. And then VU came through launching our agent on virtuals because we were, I believe, the 5th or 6th virtuals launch back in the day. So we kind of looked at it, and the only way really to launch on virtuals was with a token. And it was kind of a small experiment that we ran. And we didn't at the time really expect it to take off how it did in terms of narrative and mind share and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I don't think we marketed it before the real craze started to happen, and people connected the two names and then realized that we were a part of both tokens. But yeah, I mean, Velvet's kind of the main token in terms of value accrual of the platform and buybacks and all that type of stuff. And then VU, you'll be able to use to just go and pay credits right now with the AI strategies. But you can also have staked Velvet, which will give you like monthly allocation in terms of credits there too. So if you're supporting the main token, you'll also be able to participate in the AI strategies that exist out there.
Got you. And
Awesome.
maybe it's a little unclear on my end, but the value accrual to the Velvet token, are you guys still deciding what that's going to look like, whether it be like a hyperliquid style buyback situation, or is there something set in stone today?
Yeah. So, I mean, how I personally kind of look at the whole buyback thing is over time, the amount of tokens going to it'll look kind of more similar to a stock buyback. In a lot of tokens, I think running them too early can just kill your runway and make it very difficult to be able to operate as a business. So the number one thing for us is to be able to have a profitable business that's working with marketing funnels that are working and a tech team that's able to deliver on the product. And then from there, once you have extra cash, you're able to then go and use that cash to really deliver value to token holders. And so we've had the token out for about a year now. We've been building the product for over 4 years now. So we're at a point where we can start looking at buybacks and certain value accrual methods there when it comes to the Velvet token, because I think a lot of people get in trouble when it comes to buying back the token too early. You would never see really a equity-like company go and start buying back their stock from day one of IPO. Most of the time, they're 10 to 15 years public, and they're super profitable by the time they even consider it. But the whole issue in crypto has been what value actually accruals to this token over time, especially given the lack of clarity around the world, and especially the US these days, on what you can actually do with a token model. So the buybacks are kind of new in the whole crypto ecosystem on a large scale. And so looking at that, saying, is that really the best way going forward to be able to give token holders value on the actual token itself? But that's kind of how I look at it. I'm not sure if Vasily's any different there on how he personally looks at a buyback or not doing a buyback, and then or whether we do kind of staking yield where you're paid out depending on the platform revenue. Those are kind of the two main ways that we see it could be working out, where it's either a dividend or a stock buyback essentially happening there.
Got you. So a little more to be determined, something that comes with the development of the platform once revenue numbers start getting up. I want to talk about funding, and guys, we have to wrap shortly here because we do have our next guest in the waiting room. But obviously, one of YC's fastest growing companies was Axiom. We know the terminal space is a heavily VC-backed space, right? It's hard to compete unless you have some big backers. You guys are backed by YZY. you know, of course, FOMO raising 75 million, which you mentioned earlier. You guys are backed by YZY. What does that look like? I know YZY has backed a few terminals in the past. I can think of at least one off the top of my head. So they like to do this. How do they help you in this development? Are they also working as an incubator accelerator? Is this just a capital investment? Maybe just walk me through what your backing looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say Easy Labs. That's how you pronounce YZ. It's obviously traditional how they supposed to have it. But anyway, right. So that was actually a long journey for us, right? Because it all started from winning BNB Chain Hackathon back in the day, and we were one of the top DeFi projects there. So then after that, we got invited to something that was called the Most Valuable Builder project. The Most Valuable Builder, Most Valuable Builder program. And we've gone through the selection process interviews. They selected, I think out of thousands of applications, they selected 25 or 26 projects. And we were super happy, and we thought, hey, you know, we're getting funded. But then they said that, no, actually it's not funding. You're gonna go through the program for 2 or 3 months, and then after that you're going to present on a demo day, and then after that we're going to decide. So out of 26 projects, only 11 made it to the demo day, and then out of 11 they funded 5 or 6 in the end. So we were one of the finalists of this whole program. And obviously throughout the program it was very helpful, because Easy Labs, which was called Binance Labs back then, they are the crypto OGs, so we got a lot of learnings and connections in the space, and obviously they were super helpful on making sure that we develop and grow in the right direction, and obviously making interest to other partners, making interest to other investors. So in the end, we got the cap table stacked with more than 12 different VCs, including Easy Labs, Blockchain Founders Fund, Selene Capital, DWF Labs, and many others. So I would say that helped a lot, especially as an initial push, and we still regularly catching up with them. And recently they launched the Easy Creators program, which is part of the portfolio value creation from them. So now we are onboarding creators from their network to help push Velvet in different markets. Especially it's very relevant in Asia and non-US markets, where otherwise it's pretty hard to get to those creators, and especially if you don't speak Mandarin yourself. So yeah, been super helpful, and very glad to have them on the cap table.
Got you. Well, we got to wrap here. I do want to ask about the chart, though. We saw this crazy, this crazy pump up to 800+ million. Only on Binance do you get charts like this. People call it the Binance cabal. Any comment on this? Like who was doing the bidding on that? It's just a crazy chart.
Yeah, it was a crazy week for us, because we got a few announcements out about the pre-IPO stock trading on Velvet, the new app, the new Aerodrome pool migration. So I think we did so much marketing that people probably started going crazy, and obviously I have no idea what else is happening in the market with like arbitrage bots and everyone else. So it looks like it got overheated, especially given that there's not much else to do in the market. And then we were obviously thinking that if it went up so much, then it's probably going to go down at some point, which is what happened. But we still see it as a healthy correction. We're still up comparing to what we were a couple of months ago, right? I think it's like 3 or 4x from there. So yeah, things stabilized right now as it is now, and we're now talking to more exchanges for additional listings as well. So hopefully.
So this wasn't CZ pulling some strings on the back end. Nope. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you coming on today. It was really interesting getting to understand the platform and hearing more about it. Again, very competitive space and landscape, and lots of money in the space as well, as you can see by the countless examples. So thanks for coming on today, guys. We will chat soon.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Pleasure. Appreciate it.
All right, chill. That is Velvet. There was a lot there. We had come up on time, so we had to kind of cut it a bit short. But Any
Yeah,
comments?
I kind of wanted to dive in a little bit more into like their traction. We didn't have enough time at the end. I wanted to like just get a sense of like how much users are already on the platform, already using the platform. Um, but yeah, we gotta continue to push on to the next segment. So maybe next time once we get them back on, I'd love to have them back, as they continue to build and move along in their roadmap. But I'll let you tee up Riverboat here for the next segment.
Yeah, I actually don't know too much about Riverboat. They obviously had a nice pop. They got some good attention earlier in this week, last week. So we got Gabriel in the waiting room about to come on. We're excited to chat about this, really get an idea of what they're building here because, they are the award-winning decentralized prediction protocol, which is interesting. And we're trying to see, we've been talking about prediction protocols quite a bit on the show. We're trying to see all the different ways that prediction markets can really come into play outside of just like what we traditionally see with like Poly Market and Kalshi, because there are a lot of different unique use cases for prediction markets. So we want to dive into this and the primitive here, what's going on. And of course, no one better to do it than Gabriel. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gabriel from Riverboat. Gabriel, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, you got me. How you doing?
We're doing good, man, and we're glad we got you on today. A lot of people are excited about Riverboat, what you guys are building. I think over the last couple of days, you've caught some traction. Over the last couple of weeks, week or two, you've caught a lot of traction recently. So we want to dig into all of that. Here we go. Yeah, Daddy Duster's pumped for Riverboat. So with that said, we always like to start at the top, get to know who we're talking to a little bit better, and then dive into protocol. So Gabriel, could you do us that favor and just give us a bit on your background?
Yeah, I've been consulting in the crypto space for probably like 4 or 5 years now. I don't exactly have a long and storied career in coding exactly. I actually was an architect. I started my career as an architect. I left about 7 or 8 years ago, and I started working with a few of my friends in the crypto space in New York. Like I said, about 5 years ago, and kind of slowly built up my career from there. I was doing some anonymous projects on Ethereum that were a lot of fun. And that kind of gave me some momentum going forward, and just in terms of like learning how crypto works and how to build something of my own in the future. And I was able to work with some really big companies like Uniswap, like Alora XYZ, just doing like very like nuts and bolts consulting work with them. And at a certain point, I realized, man, I should just build something myself. I'm starting to get familiar with the Solana ecosystem, and I realized it was the best use case for an idea that I'd had for a long time, which is Riverboat. Some people have said I've been working on this for 4 years. That's not exactly true. I've been thinking about it for 4 years, and I've been working continuously on it for about 18 months now, I would say. And it's been a wild ride. We've had a lot of fun so far.
Wow. So 4 years you've been dwelling on this idea, thinking about it back of the head, and then 18 months now, over about a year and 6 months, you've been just iterating and building this out. Talk to me about what Riverboat is, what this idea is. I guess maybe even start there. You had this idea 4 years ago. What was that exact idea? Maybe it's evolved a bit today, but kind of curious.
Yeah. Well, the thesis is basically the same. And it's funny. Every time I think about like the origin point of Riverboat, I always end up realizing that something like previous to that actually kind of influenced me. Like, what is my real origin story? I'm not really sure. When I was like a kid, you ever played like Risk? Like the board game?
Of course.
I was obsessed with figuring out the probabilities of Risk, the board game. Because I was like, okay, there's 3 dice, but the defenders have an advantage, like how do you figure this out? And at the time, I didn't know about combinatorics, or however you pronounce it. And so I wrote out all the different possible dice rolls, and I just tallied them up. And I was like 8 years old. For the record, I think a 3v2 wins like 62.5% of the time, if I remember correctly. I mean, it wasn't until like I was like good at math, and I started like taking advanced math classes with some of the older kids, and I took like a statistics and probability class. And for the first time, I was exposed to combinatorics. And I was like, oh my gosh, it took me like 10 hours to do this when I was 8 years old. It was really like a 10-minute equation to really like do the risk, calculation essentially. But it became it kind of informed the way I thought about probability and the way I thought about future events going forwards. I realized, and I think we've all realized over time, that people talk about probability and they talk about predictions in very certain terms. And I think we even see that in prediction markets too, right? Like you're limited to a yes/no binary. And oftentimes, even in casual conversation, people will make predictions that sound wildly confident, and you can't really hold them to it, right? Like if something happens, people forget very easily if things don't go their way. And so I was kind of wondering, like at a larger scale, like how can we make better predictions? How can we talk about predictions in a more refined way? I was largely influenced by the rationalist community growing up in the 2010s. A lot of those guys assign a confidence number to a given prediction, right? So if I think something's going to happen, I also say that I have an 80% confidence that's going to happen, or a 70% confidence. And from there, I started thinking about, well, what happens if I have a confidence and someone else has a confidence? How can we actually transact? How can we make two separate predictions? Maybe I have an 80% confidence, the other guy has 20% or 25%. Is there a way to transact between two people? And also, does that scale? So I was working on the math for a bit. During COVID, I was in New York during COVID, and this stuff started kind of coming to the fore for me. And I built a little prototype, which I'll probably share on my Twitter at some point, just like a little Web 2 prototype. And I was thinking, man, I think maybe I'll put this on a blockchain at some point. And the idea basically is that many people can have many different certainties, and they can engage in a group together and ultimately in a market all at the same time. So it's been a wild ride from there. I think I got, well, the award-winning part comes from the Solana Coliseum hackathon, the breakout hackathon.
What was that?
That was last summer, but almost exactly 1 year ago, actually.
Nice.
That was the big Solana breakout Coliseum.
What was the
hackathon.
track that you were building for?
I guess that was consumer. And we got an honorable mention. We simply got an honorable mention, which at the time was a little disappointing, but it got us the traction we needed to keep building. Eventually, I got accepted into the Rectoff security bootcamp, and I realized I can really build this in a safe way. And then finally, we launched a pump coin about 3 or 4 months ago, and it's been an even wilder ride since then.
So let's talk about it. You guys launched a pump coin. You guys have a token live now. People are starting to find out about this platform, what you're building. There's some traction, momentum. What is that one-line pitch when people kept coming back? What was that pitch that you gave them on, what is Riverboat? How did this click in people's minds?
I'll try to reduce it as to the shortest amount possible. Traditional prediction markets are for what I would call low context participation. You don't need much context. You don't need much information to participate in these large scale prediction markets. However, for everything else, there's Riverboat. For high context, for private groups, for firms, for journalism, for science, we want to enable all types of different predictions and have people either transact or at least hold a record of how good their predictions are going forward. That's important.
Okay, could you maybe dive into that a little bit more? Because I think and you were talking about if somebody has a different confidence level than another person, how can they transact? I guess I'm unclear on what exactly they're transacting on. Could you maybe dive into that a bit further?
Oh, well, sure. Yeah. Let's say we want to make a bet, right? And we want to bet in a way that feels fair to both of us. I think fairness is actually kind of like a mathematical concept in this space where, like, oftentimes I can give you like 5-to-1 odds, right? And if I lose, I got to pay you 5x or whatever. But people don't like to take those bets. They don't kind of feel fair. So we kind of want to bet the same amount together, right? Like I put in $10, you put in $10. We each have confidence intervals, or at least confidences or beliefs. And then furthermore, we want to be able to allocate money out of that pool, out of that $20, according to how right or how wrong we were. And so we can do that by saying, like, effectively, we can actually even agree. I can say I have an 80% confidence that something's going to happen. And you can say I have 100% confidence that something's going to happen, and we can still transact. And the Riverboat algorithm still allocates money in a way that is what I would call strategy proof, right? So you are incentivized to put your honest belief, because you will make the most money over time if your confidence matches the actual outcome across time, right? So if I say I think something's going to happen 80% of the time, I will make the most money on Riverboat if those types of things actually happen 80% of the time, 4 out of 5 times.
Okay, so basically, outcomes acting in accordance to your probabilities that you predict are going to get you paid out over the longest period of time. It's starting to come together. Could you maybe walk me through, I guess, like a practical example of this, or like maybe how the platform works or something? Maybe that'll help, I think.
Well, sure. We could try to demo the platform if you want to.
Let's do it.
Okay. Do you have any predictions that you've been thinking about recently?
Geez, I don't know. I've been short hype. I think hype's going to sub $50. So,
okay, we can do that. Let's see if
Okay.
I can. Does share screen the way? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
share screen works. You just go down to
Okay.
the bottom. Yeah, you got it.
Great. Okay, and by the way, I did pray to the demo gods this morning, and they
Good.
said I should do my demo on mainnet. This is the way to do it.
Okay.
DevNet has been acting up for some reason.
Is there any
So-
way we could even blow this up a little bit so people can get it's a bit tough to see here. It's
Is it a bit tough to see? Let's see.
Yeah,
This
there
is
we
as
go,
big as
like
it goes
that's-
on my screen.
Okay, that's a little better.
We could possibly zoom in a little bit if that helps. I'm not looking at your screen anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's perfect right there.
Okay, very cool. So okay, so we'll say the prediction was hype goes sub $50.
Yeah, below $50.
And we'll say what, by end of year?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
is good.
Okay, it'll reset to the end of the year if I just reset it here. Okay, cool. By end of year. We won't worry about terms. Terms are the sort of like general contract that we that describe the terms of the agreement. Essentially, this is usually best done by AI because you want to describe it in very specific terms. But for now, we'll just go with what we have with the headline. Give it a category finance. We can even give it a hashtag MCG, and then we'll make it private, or rather, we'll make it public here. I'll type my password in.
Okay, so we set up this contract of a prediction. This one happens to be hype going below $50 by end of year. And I guess, you could refine that as much as you want. It has to close there. It has to sit below there for a week, whatever it might be. But just in this case, we'll just keep it as is.
Yeah.
And now what happens? You publish it.
So now it's a public contract. It's actually on the dashboard. Anyone can create a wager based off of this contract. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to spawn our own wager completely permissionlessly, right? So we'll set the lock buy deadline as 24 hours. So you got to lock in over the next 24 hours. And as you can see, that creates a wager here at the very bottom. And as wagers kind of stack up, they'll all appear in this list. Now we have our MVP, which is just a 1v1 confidence game, right? So we have contracts, wagers, and then we have seats, which you can take in a wager, right? So you can just imagine kind of it's like a 2-person table, but with variable size, right? Eventually we'll be able to make large wagers with lots of people, or you can even make solo wagers with one person, right? So I can take this seat, and if I had properly prepped you, you could also take a seat here.
So just to understand this, someone will take the opposite side. It's not like there's a liquidity pool you're depositing into. This is person to person, peer to peer, pretty much transacting. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have HBRK just represent you here. What is your confidence that hype goes sub $50 by end of year?
My confidence, I would say probably like a 65, 70% confidence level.
Okay, totally reasonable. 65. Let's go 67, huh? If you said 65 to 70, cool.
67, yeah, 67. It only makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know how old you are. You might be young enough for that.
I think everyone is familiar with 6'7" at this point.
I just learned about it recently. I'm old enough to be out of the cool kids club.
Wow, dude, you well, you're a lucky man. I'll tell you
I
that much.
went and visited my my nephew for their graduation last week, and I was like, "Oh man, what's up with 6'7", guys?"
I don't know, man. It's like it's deranged. Honestly, it makes no sense.
Okay,
It's literally a non-joke, right? Like just,
totally. There's nothing going on there. It's the comedy has progressed to nothingness.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to make an informed prediction here as well. What is the hype price right now?
Hype price is going to be $60. $60 and 70 cents if you want to get really
okay.
technical.
I'll be a counterparty for you. I have a friend who loves Hyperliquid. He will not stop talking about it to me. Basically, he's like, everything you do needs to be like Hyperliquid. He's very bullish on them. So I'm going to say there's only a 10% chance. Now,
10% chance. Note it's also down 20% if you want to factor that in as well. Down 20% in the last couple of days. So it's not at all-time highs.
Okay, well, if I wanted to, if that changed my idea before the lock buy date, I could update my belief, right? I haven't locked yet. So I have the ability here to just kind of move things around. So maybe that changes my certainty a little bit to 12.
Okay.
Now you should be able to see here, this is allocating risk out of this 0.1 SOL here, right? So you'll see that we actually are risking slightly different amounts of SOL, right? I'm risking because I have something more of an extreme belief. I'm risking 0.06 SOL, whereas your avatar here essentially is risking only 0.04. And so if you add this up, if you do the math here,
okay. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, if you do the math here, if we did this 3 times and it happened 2 out of 3 times, you would make more money than I would effectively. And yeah, basically the loser's risk goes to the winner, if that's the question you're going to ask.
The loser's risk goes to the winner. Okay. Now, the loser's risk going to the winner. Okay, so if I adjusted it though to be extremely probable that I won, or like I made a bet that was extremely probable of me winning, and then I put my odds very low, I guess, to where I had to pay less, if that makes sense. But the person against me would have to pay me out more. What does that look like? How do you mitigate some of that? Or of course, like you just don't have to accept it, I guess.
Oh, well, this is actually the beauty of Riverboat. So it can be considered strategy proof. If you do the math on this, and it's hard to explain, think of like a parabolic curve, right? And each point on that curve represents some certainty from 0 to 100, but it peaks at 67%, right? For you, essentially. Like if that's your expected profit or expected value on that curve, we've set up the math so that your expected profit is the highest at 67%, and mine is a smaller curve. It's the highest at 12%. We're essentially getting those two curves to intersect, and that's how we're deriving the payouts effectively.
Got you.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with isometrics? We've had them on the show. Literally,
oh yeah. I have seen ISO markets or isometric. Yeah, I have seen.
Yeah, it's got a nice. It's very similar in that sense, where like it's not a prediction market where it's a yes no binary outcome. It's a kind of this range of outcomes you can get, and the highest payout is the closer you get to that exact outcome you put in. Would you say it's similar to that? I mean, that they had a chart there that made it a lot easier to understand when I
yeah. I need to do something like they have a great marketing team. I need to work on something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. How do you like simplify this down? Because like it makes sense when we sit here and talk for 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's got to click to a person that sees it in passing, right? And how do you get there?
That's what we're working on now. It's my priority. I'm mostly a builder. I just wanted to get something out on mainnet, an MVP, to show that I can build something. Now we have to make the product usable and fun, and also like understandable to your average person. And that's arguably harder than all the Solana code I've written over the past year, right? Is finding that product market fit. By the way, ISO markets is a great example of kind of how this all fits into a larger ecosystem, because Riverboat as a protocol is built to be entirely modular, right? And so actually we really look forward to inviting ISO markets to sort of build on Riverboat if possible, right? Like if their algorithm makes sense, they can be set up as the resolver and also the also the allocation algorithm, if you will, because you can use different allocation algorithms across different certainties or across different prediction types. And so if they were willing to, say, license their algorithm to Riverboat, and people are willing to pay to use it in a decentralized and permissionless way, we can absolutely do that.
Got you. Okay, so then maybe we talk about this. I guess next steps are finding this product market fit, making it stupid simple for people to understand. What does your go-to-market strategy look like? How do you guys, I guess, start profiting off of this? Are you going to other people and having them build on top of Riverboat? Are you finding users to do peer-to-peer, gambling, I guess you could call it? What is the go-to-market strategy? Who's the prototype of like the audience you're trying to capture?
I think there's definitely a large contingent of like sort of rationalists. I don't know if you've heard of like Teapot on Twitter, but there's like there's a contingent out there that is going to be really into this sort of thing. It's kind of how they think about it. They write essays making predictions in this sort of way.
Got you.
We need to get the product up to speed for them so that they can just jump in and use it. We're just about there, but it's going to take some time. Those guys are going to be sort of the vanguard, I think. And whenever I've shopped it to them, they've always been really excited about making that happen. As far as a larger audience is concerned, we can also simplify this in many ways, right? Like we've built a Swiss Army knife, like a modular Swiss Army knife here, right? So if you want to come on and give 10-to-1 odds to someone or 2-to-1 odds to someone, you can also do that. And we don't even have to deal with percentages. Every component of this, from the permissionless creation to the like liquidity side to the resolution side, is modular, and it allows people to build or act as a singular sort of like entity with reputation in this ecosystem.
Okay, got you. Talk me through where the token comes into play. You launched on Pump Fund. You got this Riverboat token. Now I guess people are looking for, hey, I love the vision here, Gabriel. How do I like invest in this token, get some upside if this is a smash hit? Where does the token play into this? How does it work into the protocol?
Yeah, we've been working really closely with the with our pump investors, as I like to call them, because they've really been instrumental. Like this project could not have gotten off the ground in the amount of time that it took if I were just a solo dev. Pump has been truly amazing in terms of getting me introductions to people, to building up a team, and making this a reality. And so I have largely been taking in the community feedback to take the next steps effectively. So the plan for now is to currently Solana is wagerable on Riverboat, but the plan is to make Riverboat token wagerable, right? So in hopes of essentially creating a flywheel where people want to buy Riverboat token to then participate in Riverboat itself. There's a possibility that they could avoid future protocol fees by using Riverboat token. And then furthermore, and this is kind of a new idea, maybe we just do buybacks, right? Maybe we use the Riverboat Solana fees to just buy back the token and encourage the use of the token in the wagers more than anything.
So really, it's kind of still anything's pretty much possible on the table here for the token at this point.
Yeah.
Current goal is just like gaining that traction and product market fit.
Yeah. We have to build the flywheel, and we have to get the product market fit going, and hopefully everything else will come into place. And so far it has. It's been great.
Got you. Do you have any current user base, or not quite?
Well, we just launched on Sunday, right? This was 3 days ago or so, and we've gotten a couple dozen users. We definitely had some WebSocket issues that we had to upgrade our WebSockets on the day up because so many people were on the website.
Oh, wow.
I saw that someone actually created a new I don't know this person. Someone created a new contract this morning, and it looks pretty good. So actually, I jumped in and set my certainty. So if anyone wants to bet with me on this, more than happy to. I think my certainty is already locked in, 10% here.
Here we go. Will, sorry, I didn't have your screen up. What's the bet here?
Oh, someone put up a contract. Will Binance obtain an MICA license in the EU by the end of 2026?
And do you have any insight to this, or you just
I have zero insight. This is someone else's contract.
Okay.
I don't know who wrote this, but I read through it and I said, okay, you know what? EU is not very crypto friendly. It kind of seems like they wouldn't do a license. But yeah, I just figured I'd jump in, and in general, if someone wants to make a bet with me, I'm more than happy to submit my confidence on that. But yeah, in general, for now, we have to get a counterparty for any given wager. And in the future, we're going to make this much easier and much more simplified for mass participation.
Got you. Okay, so on that bet specifically, you got 6 months before the end of the year. I think there's only one. I think Backpack has the Mika license for this. So not entirely sure, but it is an interesting wager nonetheless. So maybe you guys have more insight than I, and you can go and do that. I gotta get the background here. So what's up with the lore and name behind Riverboat? Because I look at the profile and there seems to be some sort of like theme and lore you're going for.
Yes.
What's up with that?
Sure. Riverboats were kind of a new technology in the 1800s, for one, right? Like before riverboats, you had to like literally sail on a river, and there wasn't like much wind or anything. So it was considered this like new like luxury technology, like the big paddle wheel. Also, it was the 1800s, right? Like there was a little bit of a Wild West vibe going on at that point. We were really exploring the frontiers of the West, of the Western continent at that point. And then furthermore, only like basically merchants and tourists were using riverboats at that time. And so they gained a reputation for card sharps and gamblers to kind of ride up and down the Mississippi River gambling against people. And look, this is crypto, right? So like it's both the Wild West and there's a lot of illegal high stakes gambling going on. This is just the nature. This is the nature of the environment. The reality is we are trying to make predictions less like gambling, right? Like we're not exactly doing like super high leverage stuff yet. We want to make predictions and the scoring rules associated with them sounder and less like gambling than even like Polymarket and Call She. But to introduce a sort of tension, we're also just kind of leaning into the 1800s riverboat gambler aesthetic, just because it's fun and there's a little bit of the truth to every sort of aesthetic that you put on your company.
There's some lore, man. Interesting stuff here. I got a question about funding. You said you've been building this for 18 months now. It's been one of your core focuses. How does your runway look? Are you guys seeking funding? Just general thoughts on that.
Yeah, I have a number of friends who have raised money in New York City. Shout out to those guys. They've been massive advisors. The majority of them have always said, I raised money too early. I wish I had stretched out my runway as far as possible and built something in order to get leverage. And in general, I think that is my take on it as well. So I've simply bootstrapped this for the past 18 months. Pump has helped tremendously with the bootstrapping, but having finished the MVP here, I think it's probably about time to start raising funds. And so we're going to start reaching out to people and sort of reviving conversations that we had maybe 6 or 8 months ago and saying, hey, I think it's time.
Pump Fund has the ACE round, right? Lots of people have been doing this where it's a token conversion to safe agreements or safety agreements. Mm-hmm. Is that something you guys would potentially do if you go and raise funds? There's obviously going to be an equity component to this company.
Yeah.
Would holders, holders would benefit, I guess, from having the upside in the equity or potential to get some of the equity in the company. Is that something you guys have thought about?
Yeah, if it makes sense for the community and they're up for it, I'm in close contact with basically all the whales on private various channels, and what they say goes as far as making sure they're happy. So if an ACE round makes sense in the future, absolutely.
Got you. Okay, love it. Talk to me about the roadmap. What comes next? You guys are grinding. I'm thinking, if I had to guess, it's get this thing to as many users as possible and get that traction so you can go and raise a pre-seed round with some venture. But if you have to answer that question.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. The now that we have a product, we can really get user feedback and we can start to polish this thing up, make it usable and fun at the same time. There's a number of sort of low-hanging fruits that we can handle and ship probably in the next month or so to sort of generate excitement. There's sort of a V2 for the contract program coming, but ultimately it's all about, getting the product market fit and building from there.
Got you. Okay. Is there anything we didn't cover today that you want to just make sure you touch on and leave the people with?
Oh gosh, yeah, sure. Let me check my notes here real quick.
Let's go. Got the notepad.
I think we covered just about everything. Yeah, I think maybe one thing that I would mention is that, or at least I would sit on a bit, is that the traditional prediction markets really are for like low context, high information environments. Riverboat really is for everything else. It's for private firms, it's for science, it's for journalism, it's for decision making, and this is something that large scale prediction markets can't really do. I think there's been a lot of talk about it, right? Like, what if a firm wants to make a decision? Can they set up a prediction market? The answer is they can't really. They don't have the liquidity to find counterparties. They don't have market makers like built into the firm. It doesn't really work that way unless lots of people have access to that market. But if you're trying to make a private internalized decision, you need some way of handling the liquidity with a smaller amount of people, right? Or at least handling a number of isolated, a small group of isolated opinions.
Can I ask a quick question? Yeah. Can I ask a quick question on this as well? Because I guess I should have, but resolution, because I thought about this when you were just mentioning it. It could be almost like just an escrow service at the very bare bones, an escrow service for firms or someone making predictions. I mean, we've seen famously there have been like famous traders that have made bets on whether they can outperform the market or not. Like mutual funds. This was a big thing in the mutual fund days. Mutual fund, if you remember. Yeah. So with that being said, people can make these bets, and then the winner will, maybe pay $1 million to a charity of their choosing or whatever it is. In this case, could there be people that make these bets and just use this as an escrow service to where when it kind of finally completes, whether that's 10 years, like the example I just gave, or, 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, who's resolving this? And is that a possibility?
Yeah, you're getting it. Well, on the topic of resolution, Riverboat is set up to take any valid Solana address as a resolver, right? So people will be able to set up like bots or LLM oracles, or you can just like find a third party essentially who is willing to act as your third party arbiter. Hopefully people gain a reputation, or they actually just build a network, something like the successor to UMA that just plugs right into Riverboat and resolves things. To your first point, so it'd be a matter of finding an arbiter. But to your first point, yeah, you're absolutely getting it. We want people to make like large scale public bets effectively, and maybe they find a neutral third party to resolve it, or they use like a larger, more complex system. In fact, I was thinking about this recently. I was talking to a friend whose father was a journalist, and he was one of the first people. You guys may not remember this, actually. Does anyone know about Exxon Valdez?
Exxon Valdez?
There was like an oil spill. There was an Exxon Valdez oil spill in like the 90s. But it's very famous. It's on Wikipedia. It was a big deal. And a friend of mine's dad was a journalist on the subject, and Exxon Valdez was denying it entirely, right? So he was trying to go in and like find the source of the spill. And he was like, I got to get out there to Alaska. And he said he went to a dive bar and he paid a guy like $100 to fly him in a private plane so he could get like a bird's eye view of what was really going on. That was the only way to see if there was an oil spill or not, right? This would have been a great, if Riverboat had like sufficient adoption at that point, and if we could encourage like large scale institutions or entities, like you're saying, to make a public bet, that guy would open a Riverboat and say, look, if you guys are denying that there's an oil spill, make a Riverboat. Let's have everyone make a prediction against you guys, and we'll see what really happens.
Could have been some interesting stuff for the Strait of Hormuz conversation. I mean, notoriously, we had the Centrini analyst go to the Strait of Hormuz to do like on the ground research there. And there's a lot of people with all their different opinions on what was going on, and a lot was revealed in the Centrini article. But like that's just another example that kind of comes to mind. So I'm seeing the vision, and I think these stories are going to help you sell the vision in a big way too. Maybe featured on the website or whatnot. But okay, I think I got a good idea here. Crypto Jones has one last question. Gabriel, why is 6 afraid of 7?
I literally heard this from my nephew like 2 weeks ago, and it's because 7, 8, 9. Yes, exactly. 7, 8.
It's so stupid. I thought you would have known that like instantly. It's a classic.
No, I just heard it 2 weeks ago for the first time.
That's hilarious. Yeah, well, Crypto Jones thought you liked that. He said it's a great math joke. So hopefully you appreciated that. Gabriel, man, well, we appreciate you coming on, talking about Riverboat. I think the primitive's cool. There's so much conversation around prediction markets, and I think, keen to see these work outside of, you know, the traditional gambling we're seeing on Kalshi and Poly Market, where again they are used for stuff like we just discussed here at the end. You know, longer term bets that are, you know, provable by some third party, or you know, someone goes to the Strait of Hormuz and, you know, talks about some, you know, some sort of analyst or analysis happening in science in the real world. I think it's a cool use case. So we'll see how this evolves, and we'll be watching the journey.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Yeah, we are ready for people to build, especially on the resolution front. There's a number of new LLM oracles and people that would be really great entrants into our ecosystem. So if you guys are interested, feel free to reach out. We'll be in touch.
Are there any partnerships or integrations in the work?
Yes, but I've got to keep them quiet for now. I don't want to say anything that's not. We're working on it.
Got you. All right. Well, we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
See you, Gabriel.
Take care.
All right. I lost Chill. How's it going? I lost you halfway through.
Dude, yeah. Check your DMs. I didn't even have a chance to wait. I didn't even have a chance to send it. Okay.
Oh,
all right.
You're all
Still
good. You're
in.
all good.
Anywho, great interview, by the way.
Dude, what you could have done backstage is ban the fucking cyberbullies we have.
Dude, Crypto Jones, someone needs to like smash his keyboard, bro.
Dude, what? God forbid a kid's got raging testosterone, right? God forbid we're young, dumb, hung, and full of test, dude. Nonetheless, bro. Nonetheless, someone ban this guy, dude. This is what you get for showing
him
up
out of
every day,
here,
dude.
Someone get him out of here.
Every
No,
day and try to provide value, and you just get fucking clowned by an anonymous PFP, dude. God,
it's crazy. It's crazy. He was going hard, dude. Crypto Jones was going hard even during the Velvet interview, bro. I was like, dude, somebody get this man out of here.
Yo, we try to have what's gonna happen if we pull up these comments during the interview, and you know that's why I save the touchy questions till the end. Sometimes it's like I want to make sure the interview goes smooth, and if anything derails, it happens at the end. So like at the end is when I pulled up the chart. I'm like, look, Binance crime, right? We all know about Binance crime. What happened here? 40 mil to 800 million.
By the way, they were totally silent on that. By the way,
yeah,
like right? Not a laugh, not a smile, not a like nothing, bro. Just
well, he hit us with the announcement. He's like, yeah, I mean, we put out some big announcements. 40 mil to 800 mil in this market. Announcements. Come on, bro. Yeah. So you know, I guess we could just be straight up, but you guys are gonna have to bear through some awkward moments if that's the case. So we try to be tasteful all the way until the end, and maybe get to the touchy questions. Definitely can't pull up Crypto Jones questions. Probably like 90% of the time, to be honest.
This one was the funniest.
all 10 on the Binance users must have bought. Yeah.
I was like, bro,
CZ
please.
and CZ2, CZ3, CZ burner, CZ burner 4. Yeah.
all the different CZ accounts. All right. Anywho,
need a chat with the chat. Love the banter. Yeah. Well, Crypto Jones is gone, Duster. So there's gonna be no chat within the chat. We're getting the guy out of here, bro. Because I mean, he's just a piece of shit, dude.
Dom getting flamed out here. We can't even get at Crypto Jones. It's just a PFP.
I know, right? I need something. I'm gonna start streaming with my shirt off. So every time someone has something to say, I just pop my chest a little bit. Boom, boom, one or two, and that'll silence them. Silence the haters.
I gotta say though, I gotta show love to Crypto Jones because yesterday I won't say it publicly again, but he gave us an idea yesterday, and I shared it with the boys, and it was absolutely fantastic. So I got, you know what? Let him keep his keyboard for now. Now.
Yeah. No, that was a good suggestion. But nonetheless, chill. Markets are down. I'm not sure how much you want to sit here and talk shop. Maybe just briefly. I know we do have a team call shortly after this, but if you want to go through some stuff, I will say the trenches are pretty resilient right now compared to what Bitcoin and crypto is doing. Bitcoin's down 6% on the 5.3% on the day, along with Solana and ETH around the same point. But on chain, especially the leading runners, or even if you want to go to Backpack, Jupiter, World, some of the leaders over the last couple of days are incredibly resilient right now. So again, we might have some dips fulfilled here. I got limits set, guys. I got limits set. I'll tell you that much. But Chill, you wanna talk through it? I got to go rip a little leak here.
Yeah. Go through. Man, freaking Daddy Duster, bro. Chill, man. Like we still haven't gotten a chance to even like do anything. So don't front run us. Don't front run us, please, bro. Please. All right. So real quick, let's do this. Let's run through some quick charts. Basically what I told you guys on Monday, that's playing out right now, essentially. I kind of told you guys we're going into an area of resistance. Now we're going into an area of support. We've been looking for this sub 60K level for quite some time. So that's basically kind of where we're at, sub 60K. I would love to see us go deeper into the sub 60K range, though. Like talking 55K, maybe even like sub 55K even. We'll see. We'll ultimately see. But hey, look, level by level, we tagged the red. Now we're tagging the green. I'd love to see us go deeper inside the green. That felt like a pause moment for some reason. Yeah. So that's BTC. BTC going sub 60K. Really the only two things. I'm currently long XPL. Let's take a look. Coming back down into an area of support. If we go on the 4 hour, this is kind of this breaker looks a lot better here on the 4 hour. And maybe I should even beef up the outline on here too, so that way you can actually, no, not that, not that, not that, guys. Let's do that instead. There we go. There you go. So you can kind of see that 4 hour breaker a little better. But as you can see, this is a market structure break, shift in structure, right? We had pop above. Now we came back below SFP right here as well. And I can even mark that off. 4 hour SFP. Bang. There you go. So that's really that's one of the ones that we were talking about in the Discord as well. Just one of the ones that we've been looking at that has some strength. SPL. I know they have their Android update coming out soon, and I think they have some marketing pushes as well. But it's good to see that again. We went from on a high time frame. We went from high, lower high, lower high, lower high to higher high, right? And so and then now we have a higher low as well. We've been making low, lower low, lower low, and now we're making a higher low. And so now what I'm expecting is for us to come out of this zone here that we see. So it's just a very, very like simple way of looking at the market in my opinion. ICT, shout out Trader Main, shout out the boy. But yeah, that's right now. I'm long XPL. It's one of the strongest tokens right now. The other stronger one is Jupe. Again, on the daily, we see that honestly, I was really expecting I was waiting for it to reject off this level. You see my box is still red. I still had this downtrending line here. But we broke through and it's almost like a bullish retest. And alongside the bullish retest, if we zoom in, you see a couple 4 hour SFPs form on the lower time frame. So, not too bad, not looking too shabby here on Jupe either. So, wondering what comes next, but I got my limit set for like 1950, like 195 on Jupe with invalidation right there at 19.4, I believe it is. I got to double check that, but yeah, if we go on the 4 hour, I'll tell you guys exactly. So limit is set for, my bad, 19.8, and then my my inval is 19.4. So SFP there looking good, and looks like it wants to, honestly, it looks like it wants to go straight higher, like break through these levels and make a new higher high. I mean, same thing here. You know, we've had these lower highs form here, and now this low, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Like you see all this stuff going here. We can even go like even locally if we zoom in just a little bit to like an 8 hour, for example. And you can see this here. You know, we went from lower high, lower high, lower high, right, to now a higher high. And we had this low, but then we had another low, had another low. So even on a lower time frame, we can see a nice little change in structure there for Jupe. But yes, I think we're going places here, boys. I think we're going places here. In the sea of red, it's very easy to identify some outliers. WorldCoin, I'm still looking to see how deep this retracement is going to be. We talked about the weekly SFP that formed you know, a few I think it was last week. We talked about this. We saw a huge SFP in this bearish order block. So, you know, here's my sort of breakdown for analyzing some of this stuff. There's these bearish and bullish order blocks. And within those zones, I'm looking for bearish or bullish price action. So within this 3-day order block, I'm looking for what potential bearish price action could we see? I saw the confirmation of the bearish price action, and now we just follow through. So that's how I like to look at things. And right now on XPL, for example, we have a bullish 2-day order block. And as you can see, when we go down to the 4 hour, in that bullish order block, we have a 4 hour SFP, a little bit lower time frame. So, you know, this one has a little bit more risk, but the RR is pretty tight. Like I told you guys, 19.8 is the entry, or not on this one. 19.8 wasn't my entry on this one. 8.5 was my entry on this one, but my invalidation is still tight at 8.2. So inval is pretty tight. RR is pretty tight on this one, and then, you know, my target is the top side of the range at just a little above 12 cents. That's pretty much it. Everything else is cooked pretty much. Pump fund cooked, losing a key a key level. You know, losing its low. We got Ondo. Actually, Ondo's looking pretty good. We talked about this SFP for a while. This was like probably, you know, last Monday, not this past Monday, like last week on Monday. We were talking about this SFP that formed. This was on, I believe, the 2-day that we initially saw this. And now we're finally hitting this support level. And I told you guys, this is the target. We had these retests here. We had these bearish tests of this level, this 30-cent level here, and now we're having a bullish retest of it after it just broke through the last time. So I'm going to basically, I'm probably going to look at a lower time frame to get long here on Ondo. And let me actually move that up, because I didn't notice that as I was going through the charts.
I need to dig into Ondo more. $1.5 billion market cap.
Not bad.
Not bad. That's about on par with WorldCoin, which Josh really likes, I believe. Let me see what WorldCoin's trading at. Sorry, keep going. Just wanted to throw like context in there.
Yeah, go. I like Ondo because of the RWA. I mean, obviously, you know, a lot of the things that are gaining traction have been, you know, stable coins, RWAs, equities on chain, like that whole Clarity Act narrative. And I think Ondo is kind of at the core one of the core protocols of that narrative. I think Backpack is at the core of that narrative. I think Meteora Met is at the core of that narrative.
The only issue, and I do agree in a big way, by the way, that Ondo's like doing really good for the tokenization of like equities and this type of stuff, and they're one of the leaders, and I think they have really good TVL, so like that's something to note. But again, it's trading at a 1.5 billion, which I guess isn't traditionally bad. It's ranked like number 40 on CMC, but you have Backpack at 150 million and Meteora at 80 million, which I not comparable exactly 1-to-1, but like I don't know, man. 1.5 billion is kind of expensive in this market, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, in this market, it's expensive. In fact, I just put out a tweet earlier that basically said, "Hey, look, we know there's a true shift when the ceiling, the $10 million market cap ceiling, has been broken." I mean, the last token to hit 100 mil was Avicii at late last year, and we haven't seen a token go on a similar run since. So when we see some of these tech tokens really start to break through the ceilings, that's when we know there's been a cleaner shift. And then, once, Bitcoin has bottomed out and stuff like that, I expect that, maybe Ondo only pulls a couple X's from here. But at the same time, Ondo has a long way to go. Ondo has a long way to go. I mean, this was peak bull market, right? December 2024, $2.14. We're at 30 cents now. But I can see this going back, as we clear out the summer. I can see this going back to at least maybe 50 cents, clearing the 50-cent highs. I can at the very least see that Ondo is going back to 50 cents. I can at least see that. At most, I can see it, maybe going for this higher level here at $1.12. That's another thesis that I need to work on. And I'll let you guys know once I had that cleared out. But as you can see, it's a nice little spot here. 0.786, nice retracement. We're in the discount. We're approaching support. So honestly, a really, really great level. Only thing I have to do is just go lower time frame, but this looks really prime for a bounce higher. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't really have too much to cover on the macro side. Those are really the only three tokens I'm watching: XPL, Jupe, Ondo right now. If you guys want more info, feel free to go to the link in the bio for the Discord. We're trading in there. We're calling plays in there, and we're everywhere, bro. We're majors, right? We're perps. We're on chain. We're everywhere, anywhere. We got it all covered. So
let's go.
Last thing I'll show you guys, just to kind of some housekeeping to wrap up the stream here. It's about how many of us is it in here? I think it's about 1,500 majors. I'd say keep an eye on Canton.
Now, Canton, though, they're super subsidized, right? And like, forgive me because I'm not super familiar with Canton, but I believe like they subsidize a lot of users a ton. That's what I've heard. Because they're a top. Let me see. Because they're a top.
Canton. Shout out OKX.
Yeah, Canton's number 14 on CMC, so it's literally nearly a top 10 token. It's got a 5.82 billion market cap. Yeah. So the thing is, what I've heard about Canton is their emissions are super, maybe even predatory. Like they might make $100 million or whatever. They might make, $1 billion. They make a ton of money. But the thing is, in emissions, they give out more than that. They're subsidizing so much. And
this is pure crime on this chart. This is pure market making on this chart, holding this thing together.
Yeah, I need to look more into
between.
Do you have a thesis, Crypto Jones?
Yeah, let me know if you got a thesis on this one. I wonder.
I mean, like what I have seen is, again, like they're doing stupid revenue. Like they're doing crazy revenue. But again, like the cost of that revenue is very high in terms of token emission. So like it all ends up like they make a lot of revenue, but then they give a lot of tokens to their top protocols, and those people just go and obviously spend it because it works as a subsidy for them. Right. And so the Canton protocol could do really well because they have really great rates because on the back end they're subsidizing a lot and then paying for it via like token sales. Again, that's how I understand it, which is why like I stopped looking very deep whatsoever.
Buy and pray is my thesis.
That's the only thesis you can have for like general majority of the market. So
all right, so real quick, guys. Quick housekeeping. I don't think we did this at the beginning of the stream. It's currently the end of the stream, but I think something that we should do nonetheless for all the rewatchers, all the latecomers, they can go back and they can watch all the great interviews. So go to MCG Live. Number one, make sure you're following the account. Make sure you have follow. We're at 11.3K followers, almost at 11.4. Got about 11 guys. So get 11 people. Get 11 people that you know. Tell them you love MCG and just tell them hit the follow button.
Wait, where do you see that? I can only see like it only rounds it for me. Where can you see?
You just hover over it. It says 11.39.
Look at that. Yeah, we're doing about 100 followers a day. Yesterday was 120. Day 130. Day before that was like 140. It's kind of nuts.
All right, I'm not gonna hover on that no more. Okay, now you want to go to the our pinned tweet. That's the second thing you want to do. You want to hit like and you want to hit RT. It's about 1,500 of us in here. Let's like, let's RT, let's get the word out that MCG is live. For anyone that's recently joined, that's joined for the first time here today, welcome to MCG Live. This is what we do. We interview great projects. We talk about all of the on-chain news. We talk about majors, narratives, tech, founders. We do all of it, okay? If you want to get a little bit more of what we do, feel free to go to the link in the bio. Hit our Discord. We trade there. We talk there as a community, and we do a lot of stuff there together. And you're still able to keep up with all the updates that we have coming. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. That's all that I have today. Dom, anything?
Yeah, if we don't release the product today, the public good product we're kind of building around the live stream and data and all that stuff, go spam Josh. Tell him he's a rugger. Tell him that he's time rugging us, that we expected a product, that his timelines are bad. Put him in the shoes of these founders that he puts on the spot. I think that's only right.
Fact.
And also know that Chill and I have nothing to do with this. You can't come to us about this. You have to talk to Josh about it. No, I'm only joking, of course. CPT news. Yeah, they did an announcement today. If you guys saw Wednesday's Impulsor News Day, they announced that they're looking to integrate further token utility outside of the equity that it already has, which is going to be obviously positive. So tokens pop because of that, but no further news on that. Hey, Dom, height and weight. Who is your NFL comp? I'm 5'11", like 180. Of course, that goes from like 175 to 185, depending on. I would say comp would be somewhere between a running back, slot receiver, and cornerback. I played cornerback when I played football, so if that helps. I would say like Odell Beckham is probably weighs a little more than me, but like height wise, Odell Beckham.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep
What's
going.
so funny, dude?
Nothing,
What's
bro,
so funny, dude?
There's nothing funny
Do I not
about that at
resemble
all.
Odell
Man.
Beckham or Antonio Brown to you?
Yeah, bro. I mean, you guys look like cousins to me.
Okay, that's what I thought. What about you, Chill? Actually, that's a good question. Who would you say if you had a comp for football? If you're more familiar with basketball or something else, what's
you ever seen the remember the meme coin, like the Chad meme coin?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You know the guy that's like posing, like just think of that guy, black, and there you go.
Damn.
There you go.
He is so handsome, Chad. I've seen him. He's so handsome.
This freaking guy. Let's get out of here. All right, y'all. Chat. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys, man. Edelman.
Do I have to do a white guy? Dude, come on, guys. I don't see color.
He said, I don't see color. OBJ is
I'm
insane.
taller. I got to be taller than Edelman. How tall is Edelman? He's like 5'10", right? I'm taller than Edelman. I'm taller than Antonio Brown, too, okay? Okay, so OBJ is a fair comparable there, guys. You have to understand. All right, guys.
This freaking guy, bro. Somebody get this man out of here, please. Get him out of here.
If you ever want to come find out, be my guest, man. All right, guys. We'll see you. Love you, boys. Wes Walker. Okay, we got Daddy Duster's a ball knower, which is nice. Also, shout out Daddy Duster. I think it was Daddy Duster I saw in the CPT chat talking about he works with some, I'm not going to dox him, but making some good connections potentially for CPT there. So bag working. Gotta love him.
Shout out the homie. Shout out I respect it. I respect the bag work.
Okay. Crypto Jones is a Pee Wee Herman, George Floyd kind of intertwined. And you know that, yeah. I wonder if you if you did an AI of Pee Wee Herman and George Floyd, I don't even know how that would come out because they're so polar opposite looks. Yeah, I would say I resemble more George Floyd than Pee Wee Herman personally. Actually, you know what? Honestly, I would say that's a pretty good comp for me too, Crypto Jones. Is I resemble George Floyd meets Pee Wee Herman. I got the legs and arms of Pee Wee Herman and the immune system of George Floyd. And I guess outward complexion.
Oh my God.
So I have very skinny legs and arms, and I like to wear colorful clothes, and then I have the outward complexion of George Floyd. So, yeah. All right. You know what? If we sit here and talk too long,
stream party next week. Stream party next week. We're gonna do. Next week is going to be an interesting week. All right, for you guys yesterday said, we got the momentum. We should keep it going. So you know what? We will. Next Thursday or next Monday, we got a nice little something planned. You'll see it on the schedule. Next Tuesday, we might have something else as well. Next Thursday, I'll be streaming. Next Wednesday, though, I'm thinking because we might not have like a project scheduled. Let's just get a community stream day, bro. Let's just all the homies pull it from the Discord. Let's just all pop on, chill together for like an hour, nothing too crazy, and then we dip. Okay, so that'll be next week. It'll be like a potential Monday through Thursday, but TBD on that.
Yeah, we definitely got Monday. I think we definitely got Thursday. As for like a Wednesday or Tuesday, that's on the table. Daddy Duster and the Mind of Bill Belichick. Maybe for me, Mind of Belichick for me, if you want to go to Crypto Jones, he's a George Floyd, Pee Wee Herman mix, Mind of Epstein. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
All right. Because we might have just got shadow banned. I might have crossed the line. The powers that be might have taken me for that one.
See y'all on the timeline. See you in the Discord.
I know how to swim. And I love my life. Okay. So I'll see you boys later. Peace.
Deuces.